Hello, casual EAL community or the SEAL community. I don't know. We'll come up with a better, catchier name for it at some point in the future here. Welcome to our amazing playoff matchup tonight against Bronze, where we have Bronze 5 Age and Team Renegatus going up against each other. Seeds 1 and Seeds 4. Oh, no, wait. Is it Seeds 1 and 4?
Yes.
Pandemonium, help me out here. Seeds 1 and 4.
Seeds 1 and 4. That's
all
correct.
Right. So yeah, I'm Scattercat here, being one of the casters for tonight's match, and here with me is Randomonium.
How's it going? So yeah, we got an interesting one. We got the number 1 team, Bronze 5 Age, going up against the number 4 team. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the match?
I'm actually pretty excited about this. I mean, I'm excited about like every single match that I see, so I guess that's kind of a low bar if you think about it. But if we take a look at these two teams and their histories and how the players have performed in the past, it's a pretty exciting matchup. Bronze 5 Age are like, they're veterans. They've been doing leagues like this for a long time. They've been playing this game together for God knows how long. And I was fortunate or unfortunate enough, depending on how you look at it, to sub for them in the Demacian finals from last season. So I have a pretty good understanding of Bronze 5 Age and how they work. Now, Team Renegatus, on the other hand, I am not as familiar with them, I would say, but I know some of these individual players and how they play. Diving, for instance, he subbed for my team earlier this season, and he's the mid laner for Team Renegatus. So then there's also Lightning, their support, and Lightning, again, he's been in this specific league before, so I've watched him play before. And if I look at the two champion pools for both of these teams, they share some similar champs in multiple positions. So I think that's going to make the draft phase really interesting, and we can really poke and prod at a lot of the details in that when we see that today.
Yeah, I definitely think that Bronze 5 Age, the biggest advantage they got is the power of friendship. It seems like they play every single match together in their match histories, and they've been playing together for a really long time, and it's obviously given them a ton of success. Team Renegatus, I believe, these are just 5 guys who all kind of like grouped up at the beginning of the season. No previous relationships. It's going to be interesting if they can potentially out macro, out mechanic Bronze 5 Age.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can joke about the power of friendship in anime and video games all day long, but, it has worked for Bronze 5 Age. We see it in their match history. They've only lost 1 game so far in the regular season, going into these playoffs. So we have a lot to look forward to today. See if that record can stay true now that we've had this 1 week break and playoffs are starting, or if Renegatus can throw a wrench into their plans and actually, beat them today. I'm expecting that the series goes to all 3 games today. I really want to see a 3-game series out of these two teams.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. That said, I do think Bronze 5 Age is the favorite. And yeah, I think that it's going to be a very exciting draft. And there definitely is quite a bit of overlap. Like, for example, one that I was looking at in particular is the top laner for Bronze 5 Age and the jungler for Team Renegatus both play a lot of Dr. Mundo. So that might be a high priority pick for both of these teams.
Yep, Dr. Mundo. I mean, if you let it go for a while, Dr. Mundo gets a bunch of health and tank items on him. It's real hard to take him down. And then we see other positions. We see some other similar picks. Jungle specifically, both of these junglers have played Nunu and Amumu this season. So there are 2 contested picks there. So that'll be really interesting to see how that pans out. Mid lane, both players have played Syndra in previous matches. Bot lane, both of these 80 carries have played Ezreal. So there are contested picks in pretty much every single position. Support is the only position where there is no real contested pick between them.
Yeah, it looks like in support role, it could be most likely going to be tanks, but there are a few more carry or enchanter based supports they play. The Soraka on the side of Team Renegatus and the Zyra on the side of Bronze 5 Age.
Yeah, and Bronze 5 Age has also played Nami once as well. So they might decide to pull it out again. Team Renegatus also played Soraka at one point, and Soraka being full of just nothing but keeping everybody healed up at all times. That would be really interesting to bring that out. Yeah, There are a lot of really interesting ways that both teams could take this draft today. So it looks like we're going to be heading into draft here any second now. So Randomonium, do you, if you were Bronze 5 Age or if you were Team Renegatus, what position would you prioritize picking first in this draft? What do you want to get on your side of the board before the second round of bans come through?
I think that the Sivir might be a high priority. Potentially, also the Doctor Mundo would be another one that you might go towards. Onioken tends to like the Vi, so if he doesn't want to go towards the Vi, then he could potentially steal away the Nunu or the Amumu. Yeah, so there's definitely quite a few options. It's gonna be interesting to see what Bronze 5 Age prioritizes with their first pick that they have.
Yeah, if I was Renegatus, I would honestly be kind of at a loss for what to ban against Bronze 5 Age, just because I mean you could look at it and say that Oni has played Vi 3 times this season. That's a good ban because he clearly favors that champion. Or you could say, hey, they've picked Sivir 4 times. We should probably just ban Sivir and take that pick away from them. But at the same time, you take those comfort picks away, or Psychopath being famous on the Alistar, right? That's his famous pick. You could take these away all you want, but at the end of the day, they've still only lost 1 game when they haven't picked those comfort picks anyway.
So it looks like Bronze 5 Age is targeting the top lane on the side of Team Renegatus. They've already banned out the Rumble and the Kayle. Those are 2 of the most played champions on the side for the Captain Goose.
Yeah, I can respect that. Getting rid of a pick like Rumble, especially. Oh my god! And then they ban Soraka too, so they take the heals out of the way as well. Yeah, I can respect all 3 of these bans coming out of Bronze 5 Age. Kayle, famous for being a very strong late game champion. She doesn't need a lot of gold or items. As long as she gets to late game, she's going to be strong no matter what item she has. Rumble's team fight can mess up any team fight you want to get involved in. So I respect every single one of those bans. And then Sivir, Azir, and Malphite being banned by Team Renegatus. All 3 are great bans as well. Sivir for the comfort pick, and her ultimate is really good for helping a team engage. Azir is actually really good right now in the meta. Well, I mean, he's not top meta, but he's good. Malphite just being really good at initiating team fights. And Bronze 5 Age pick Leona for their first pick, just starting off with support right away.
Yeah, I think the Azir actually might be a good ban because the Prophet, who's the mid laner for Bronze 5 Age, his most played champions are Sylas and Azir, and Sylas has been nerfed repeatedly due to his prominence in pro play. So taking off that Azir might be a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, Azir with that ultimate, can really set a team up for success. Even if he himself gets behind, that ultimate is still always going to be useful in setting up towers just to help zone off certain areas in the map. And then Taric and Team Renegatus looks like they're hovering Ashe right now for their second pick of the draft. I kind of want to see that go through. I really like where Ashe is sitting right now in the meta with that recent adjustment of her Q now being an auto attack reset as well. So I really like where she's sitting. Oh, and they do lock it in. I think that's a really good bot lane pairing.
Yeah, it definitely is a good bot lane pairing. That said, I don't see that many games played for Ashe or Taric on the side of Team Renegata, so I don't know if they have that much experience with those champions. The Caitlyn coming through, so Caitlyn Leona, that's a straight up kill lane right there, as opposed to more poking on the side of the Ashe Taric. And the Mundo, I think this would be a great lock in for the 3rd pick. So it turns out they're going to lock that in. That Mundo could be flexed, but most likely going top lane.
Yep. I mean, the only place where he could really be flexed is jungle, right? So, either way, getting the Mundo on the board is huge for Bronze 5 Age, regardless of what position he's going to be played in. Like you said earlier when we talked about this, like 2 minutes ago at the beginning of the draft.
And this also gives them a lot of flexibility because they've got 2 tanks, so they can really kind of flesh themselves out with another carry in mid lane, and then they're very flexible in the jungle position.
And Team Renegatus comes through with a Scion pick right afterwards. I like Scion. Even if he gets nerfed a bunch, he's still going to be really good for team fights with that ultimate, just getting him all the way across the map, if necessary, to engage on a team fight to help his team out. He's got a knock up, he's got slows, he's got really good tools in his kit to just help a team out.
Yeah, so Scion can be that go button to allow them to set up for the Ashe arrow and then also the Taric ultimate. So definitely two beefy teams coming out on both sides, so it looks like they're going to be looking to team fight.
Yeah, so Team Renegatus takes out Warwick. Good pick. Oni's played Warwick before. They take Udyr out as well, so they take two junglers out of the hands of Bronze 5 Age. Very interesting to focus jungle over mid lane.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of like another mid lane pick and that one jungle pick. Just ban one champ out from each one of those lanes, keeps a little more balance between that. But they really want to focus Oni today, apparently, in this draft. And then Olaf and Gragas getting banned out from Bronze 5 Age. Gragas being an excellent jungler right now can set up a ton of different things no matter where he ganks. His ultimate alone is just a huge difference maker for him. So that's a great ban, I think.
So it looks like they're going to go with the Jarvan instead. I was actually expecting them to go more towards the Amumu or potentially the Hecarim. The Jarvan coming in, he does have the ability to lock people down, which makes landing the Taric stun very easy. And then this also gives Jarvan a lot of extra survivability because Taric can drop the ultimate on top of him.
Yep, but that does require a lot. That does require some communication and some teamwork to make sure that you're doing all those things at the proper times.
Oh, that's
So
the Triss mid. That's a Triss mid.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love that pick.
this
Ooh.
is this is a very spicy pick. Oh, and he's hovering the Shyvana.
Ooh, locks it in
Whoa.
too.
Wow, that's actually very surprising because Shyvana usually has a very passive early game. So this is going to be on Jarvan to make a huge difference in the early game to try and get Team Renegatus ahead. If Shyvana starts hitting level 6 and Jarvan has influenced the map, then she will outscale the Jarvan.
Yeah, and this Bronze 5 Age having Shyvana does tell Team Renegatus one thing that they really need to do well this game. Make sure that they constantly have vision and wards around Dragon Pit because Shyvana needs dragons for her passive to get stronger as the game progresses. If you can completely control Dragon Pit and make sure that Bronze 5 Age never gets a dragon, you are going to be sitting in a much better place than they will just because of Shyvana being kept down because of that.
And the Syndra was the counter pick for the mid lane. So Syndra into Tristana. I feel like that's going to be pretty scary for the Syndra until she gets her stun. The Tristana could go for a very quick level 2 all in, especially if she decides to go. The most aggro you can go with the Tristana mid lane is Halo Blades with the Knight. It's going to be interesting to see whether they decide to go with that aggro. But you've also got two really strong sieging marksmen coming out on the sides of Bronze 5 Age. Caitlyn and Tristana are both legendary in their ability to take down towers. And then you've got three tanks. You've got Leona and then two juggernauts, Mundo and Shyvana, backing them up.
Exactly. That's a hell of a front line to have to get through to actually get to the Caitlyn and the Tristana. And one thing that I love doing with Tristana whenever she's in mid lane is put Demolish on her because not only do you have her bomb on the tower to take it down faster, but then you have Demolish on top of that. She can annihilate a tower all on her own in a matter of seconds with both of those things.
Yeah, that's also pretty good because she can also take Bone Plate and kind of negate some of the burst damage with the Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see either one of them get a solo kill in mid lane, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think both of them are going to just play it safe and go for CS until their junglers are able to come and give them a hand with a good gank.
I mean, Jarvan is known for level 2 ganks. It could be actually a pretty good play for him to start red buff, go straight into level 2, try to put that Tristana far enough behind that she isn't going to want to go for that all in at level 2 or level 3.
Yeah, but then again, it is Bronze 5 Age, and we all know that they love to party and have fiestas in these games. So I mean, I think we could examine Bronze 5 Age all we want, and they're still going to surprise us every single game, no matter what we say and no matter what we come up with. Mm-hmm. So, having said that, though, examining both of these team comps, what do you like about Bronze 5 Age's comp? What do you like about Renegatus' comp? And what do you think both teams need to be a little concerned about going into this game?
So it seems like Bronze 5 Age is more about siege and counter engage. The only person they have that's really reliable engage is the Leona. The Shyvana can engage, but it's not the best since she doesn't have any type of hard crowd control to really lock somebody down. She can knock people aside, but she can't really lock anyone down. If I'm looking at Team Renegatus, they have a lot of hard crowd control. They've got the Tarek stun, Ash arrow, Scion with both his ultimate and his Q, Jarvan EQ, Syndra E, just tons and tons of hard crowd control. So I think the pick potential is definitely better on the side of Team Renegatus, and potentially the team fighting might be better if the Tarek ultimate is on point. But the sieging potential is extremely strong on Bronze 5 Age, and there's just so much. There's just like massive health pools that they have to be able to get through. If they cannot get through that front line, I think the Caitlyn and Tristana will be able to clean up because the Ashe isn't really known for her damage. She's more of a utility carry. So you've got a utility carry and then the Syndra as opposed to the two hyper carries on the side of Caitlyn and Tristana.
Yeah, I mean, taking what you said into account, they're all good points. I agree with everything you said. I'm a little worried about Bronze 5 Age in the early game and the mid game. I mean, Team Renegatus, if they can control that Dragon Pit, keep Shyvana down, if they're able to get some early picks, if they're able to get some early ganks with Jarvan, they're going to be set going into the late game, and they could potentially end the game very early. But I'm also worried for Team Renegatus because if it gets to the late game, Caitlyn and Tristana are both going to be pumping out so much damage. It's just going to feel so oppressive with all the poke from both of them. So I think if the game hits 30 minutes and it goes beyond that, I think Bronze 5 Age is winning. But I think if Renegatus can really coordinate everything they're going to do and really have some great picks in the early game, I think they can take this game before that 30-minute mark and win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that Jarvan is super important in this game because bot lane should have priority on the side of Bronze 5 Age with the Caitlyn Leona. That's a lot of wave clear. They should have a lot of control of that lane. And then Tristana has an insane amount of wave clear compared to the Syndra. The Syndra has to burn mana in order to wave clear, while the Tristana doesn't need to. She's got her passive. She can keep auto pushing the wave, and she's relatively safe as long as she holds on to her rocket jump. So that will unlock the Drake Pit for Bronze 5 Age unless Jarvan impacts those lanes.
Yeah, no, great point. Great point. So we got a few minutes here then before we actually get into the game. We got about 3 minutes here. Let's see. I just kind of, Bronze 5 Age is the favorite, 9-1. Or I think that's the record right now, right? 9-1, because they've only lost one game.
Yep.
And then Team Renegatus sitting in the 4th seed. They're clearly pushing for an upset with this game. They're clearly picking a team comp based around, we are going to catch everybody off guard on Bronze 5 Age. We're going to go for these picks when they're not expecting it. And we're gonna catch all them by surprise and put them down early, put them down hard.
Yeah, I think if they can stall the first Drake until about level 6, and when everybody on Team Renegatus has their ultimates, I think that's the fight that they want to go for, is that level 6 with Ashe ultimate, Tarek ultimate, Jarvan ultimate, Syndra ultimate. You just throw all the ultimates into the Drake Pit and hope that you come out ahead, because I think that the ultimates are a bit stronger on the side of Team Renegatus as opposed to Bronze 5 Age. The Tristana ultimate's good for peeling. The Caitlyn ultimate isn't very useful in team fights. Mundo ultimate's obviously very good, but at the first rank, it's not amazing. Probably their best ultimate they have is probably the Leona. Her ultimate can be very useful in team fights. But I think the Team Renegatus level 6, that's when they have to push that go button, probably around the Drake Pit. Potentially, they could stall it long enough and potentially go for a Rift Herald fight right at the 10-minute mark instead.
Yeah, that would be really good to see out of them. I really want to see Team Renegatus just have that coordination, that teamwork today, because Bronze 5 Age, this is not going to be me talking smack or talking trash about them. We all know that they're silly, goofy people. We all know that sometimes they can lose their focus in these games in their team comms, and they like to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So during those moments of, let's call it easiness or that easygoing attitude that they have, Renegatus has opportunities there. They have opportunities to take this game as seriously as they want to really force Bronze 5 Age to also take it seriously. Because I think if you take Bronze 5 Age out of that comfort zone of being able to joke around, of being able to feel really good about the game, they're going to struggle.
Yep. Yeah, so I think that for Team Renegatus, Vision control is going to be exceptionally important. Like you've already said, around the Drake pit, especially if they can deny out that vision and they can dip into Fog of War when Bronze 5A tries to check. There's just so much hard crowd control that they should be able to get a pick right off the bat before the tanks are able to get a lot of items. The Shyvana, the Mundo, the Leona, they won't be that tanky. So yeah, if you just layer your CC properly, they should be able to blow up somebody for one of those first Drake fights.
Yeah. Do you think either of these teams are going to try for an invade at the beginning, or are you more expecting that they're going to go for the 5-point, line of scrimmage that we usually see?
I don't think either team has a great level 1. I'd say the Tarek with his E stun is pretty decent. But I mean, Ashe only has her volley. Jarvan needs level 2 to be able to get his EQ combo. Syndra needs at least level 2 to land her stun. So neither team has a great level 1. So yeah, I would guess that both teams are probably going to go into 5-point. I mean, Shyvana doesn't have a great level 1 either, but Shyvana's going Dark Harvest. She might be going full AP.
Ooh, that'll be nice to see. I would appreciate that.
This might be, this looks like it's going to be a full AP Shyvana with the Dark Harvest.
Very nice. We'll have to keep track of that throughout the game and see what her Dark Harvest stacks are sitting at as we go.
So Tristana looked like she went for more balance. She went for the press the attack with the ignite. So that's kind of like the middle of the road as far as aggressiveness is concerned.
Right away we have a disconnect and a pause. So, wouldn't be one of our CEAL matches without a pause somewhere in there. So we will sit tight.
I'm just gonna blame Riot. It's always Riot's fault, right? Just fix your client, right?
Always, right?
Small indie game company.
Small indie game company currently developing 5 games at once.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looks like... Yep. Okay, so Oni's back. Disconnection wasn't a big issue. We're already back in the game. We can move along. And yeah, it looks like it is just going to be a line of scrimmage. Teams are fanning out, spreading around.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Neither of these teams really drafted for the level 1. The level 2, level 3 is where things should get a little bit spicier with the potential for all-ins.
Yeah, and we see Tristana sitting in that bush in the mid lane, and I think that's not to be aggressive. I think they're just expecting Renegatus to push their luck a little bit and try to get a ward.
Yeah, so Onioken went for the standard. You run out immediately, drop a ward, then recall, and then get sweeper. And that's kind of very typical for a lot of junglers. So good to see him going for that. It's clear that he's been watching some higher level VODs and things like that.
Imitation does not mean you can also play at that level, Odie, so be careful. Don't get too cocky today.
What is interesting, though, is that on the Shyvana typically is like a power farming jungler, so having the sweeper isn't as useful. I would prefer, just personally, to have the extra wards that I'm able to put down if I'm playing a power farming jungler, just to scout out for my laners. I'm not really concerned about clearing vision if I'm looking to power farm. I'm looking to try and put down vision.
Yeah, I would almost be worried since you're up against a Jarvan, and Jarvan knows, or Daco Driller, he would know that Shyvana is a power farmer like that. He would want to go into that jungle every now and then to see where she's at, to like place a ward or two just to get vision on where Shyvana is in her current rotation.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, not much going on yet. The junglers are just doing pretty standard clears. Jarvan went blue into Gromp. Shyvana went red into Raptors. I expect that both of them are going to potentially try and fight around this topside Scuttle Crab once they hit the level 3 mark. There is actually, no, that's Renegatus' ward. Renegatus has got a ward on their Raptors. I guess they're potentially expecting an invade. So yeah, they will not be able to track the Jarvan. They know that he started blue side because of the... we got an all-in going in. Leona goes in, lands the stun. Return back. That's the ignite blown. So that is one summoner spell for one summoner spell. Ashe looks like she's trying to chase with her volley.
And Renegatus actually gets the better of that trade. They did a lot of good poking on the Caitlyn before the fight even happened.
Yep. All in by the Tristana. Level 3 versus level 3. But it looks like Diving is able to back off.
Yep, just a little bit of poke damage, nothing more than that. Just keeping Shyvana on her or keeping Syndra on her toes, I guess, is really all that was necessary there.
So that was the Ignite for Psychopez in exchange for the heal of Cyanide. Tarek goes in, gets a stun on Leona. This is actually very good by Cyanide and Lightning. They're getting down a lot of poke. This is how they need to win this lane, is they just need to focus on poking. And if they can get the Caitlyn and Leona far enough down in health, they won't be able to go for that all in.
Yeah, I mean, it almost behooves Lightning and Cyanide here to try to freeze the lane right where it's at and just force Caitlyn and Leona into their auto attack range and into the stun range so that they can keep poking them down and get a lane advantage.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that they're not calling for the Jarvan right now. The lane is set up perfectly for Jarvan to gank, and he was just clearing that bot Scuttle Crab, but he decides to go towards the top side of the map instead. He actually might be able to get both Scuttle Crabs.
Yeah, that'd be a huge advantage for him early on if he's able to get both of them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, looking at the bot lane, because we've been watching them trade and poke each other quite a bit, it is good to see, though, that Caitlyn and Leona are sticking even in CS down there, even though they're getting poked, even though they keep getting hurt in these exchanges.
Yeah, this is actually incredibly close. Like, every single lane is almost equal CS. Sion is getting the better of the Mundo right now, which was what I would expect. Once Mundo gets level 6, that matchup should start turning around a little bit. But Sion is actually pretty fearsome in lane.
Yeah, he's known for being, you know, kind of a lane bully against certain opponents. Mundo definitely being one of them. In mid lane, we do see Syndra and Tristana. They are just going for CS, but Jarvan is here in mid lane, maybe setting up for a gank. Nope, just taking care of some vision, and he's going right back to the jungle to keep up that CS in the jungle. But Shyvana's, you know, being a hard farming jungler, she's right up there as well. So yeah, things are just so dead even right now. When a fight does break out, it's going to be explosive.
Yeah, that said, I do think that Bronze 5 Age does have the scaling advantage right now. I would like to see a little bit more agency coming out from this Jarvan to try and push the tempo a little bit. I think he does need to make a gank happen in the next minute or two in order to try and give his team some type of advantage. If your team Renegatus, you're not happy with just being even this early.
Yeah, you need to keep the Tristana down. You need to keep the Caitlyn down. You have to do something to take care of both of them because they are both going to be a problem later.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it looks like Shyvana is definitely all in by the Tristana going in. The stun misses. Shyvana has potential kill pressure, but she's just going to knock diving down to about 30% health. That will force the back out of diving, but he does have teleport.
That was a very smart engage, though, by Prophet in mid lane on that Tristana. He recognized that there was no ball for Syndra to use there to stun him with if she wanted to throw that wave out, her E. Mm-hmm. So he just went for that. Jumped in, he put the bomb on her, did all the damage he could, and Syndra couldn't do a thing about it except run away.
Yep. So that will allow Prophet to get a good back on the Tristana. He goes right into the Vamp Scepter. Tark lands the stun. Leona counter stuns. And we got 4 people all around this Drake right now. Shyvana is on the bop side of the map, but Tristana's still in base.
Renegatus has the advantage. It's 4v3 if Bronze 5 Age
teleport coming in from Sion. It's going to be a 5v3 right now.
Yeah, Bronze 5 Age just has to let this dragon go.
Yeah, I think that's the right call from them. Very surprising that Renegatus went for the Drake that early, but a great play by them to be able to secure an early Infernal Drake. That's going to help them with the scaling disadvantage that they have.
It's true, and, you know, just like we were saying at the beginning of the game here, you know, if we can recognize that Shyvana needs those dragons, their one goal with Shyvana should be to make sure she never gets one. Of course, they were going to think the same thing going into the game, too. So I am really glad to see that agency come out of Renegatus.
So the downside of that, though, is that look at the CS differential in top lane right now. Oh, we got an all-in coming in bot lane, though. We'll hold off on what discussions on top lane. So it looks like Caitlyn and Leona are able to get out. But look at the CS differential. That's a 30 CS differential and a 1 level lead in favor of the Mundo. I don't think the Sion wants any part of this right now.
You shouldn't engage on that Sion.
That's the ultimate going down for both the Tristana and the Syndra. Ooh, Syndra almost goes down.
Very close.
A sliver of health. That might be a kill right now. Oh, that forced out the flash from the Scion.
I was almost expecting Alston Restip to just flash for that kill at the end of that. Even if he dies for it, I was expecting that to happen.
Yeah, he's probably, if he had the ultimate, I know he would have gone for it, but it looks like he used the ultimate a little bit sooner. But that ultimate will come off cooldown faster than Scion's ultimate will.
Yeah,
So he's probably
exactly.
just going to set up for another all-in once that ultimate comes off cooldown.
Oh, Shyvana's kind of going into the jungle here
Oh,
on
I don't like
Renegatus.
this. I don't like this.
Ooh. Oh, you
Yeah.
hate to see it. You hate to see it. I mean, I can understand Shyvana making that decision, right? Because they don't have vision on Syndra. They assume that Syndra's recalling and just heading right back down mid lane. They don't assume that she's going to be there for that.
Oh, that's a flash out from the Ashe, though. Yeah, that said, as a jungler, you should never try to invade unless you've got lane priority in your nearby lanes. That's just so risky.
I
So
mean,
Sindri,
fortune favors the bold, right? So,
yeah.
you know, take a risk every now and then. Hopefully it pans out.
So Syndra winds up getting the blue buff transfer. She will pick up that wave. And we're back to a pretty neutral map state. Mundo still has a pretty massive CS lead, and he's taken 2 tower plates already.
Yeah, that's quite the gold differential. If we just look, he's almost 1,000 gold ahead of Scion.
Yeah, so that was a pretty costly Infernal Drake for the Scion. We'll see if Mundo's able to translate that into any larger advantage, potentially getting first tower or being able to unlock an early Rift Herald.
Yeah, and for as explosive as Bronze 5 games usually are, you know, whether they're dying or getting killed, I'm very surprised that we're 10 minutes into the game and only 1 kill has happened on the map so far. Both teams are playing a lot more conservatively than I was expecting.
I think that has a lot to do with the jungle pick. That Shyvana just wants to power farm. That's the ultimate burn from the Mundo. He's in a 1v2 right now, and he's just getting chain CC'd like crazy. Holy cow.
But
Looks like he will be able to. He will escape, but he did have to burn the flash.
Yep. I mean, that cleaver, just being able to slow anyone down who's trying to chase you, that is kind of nice. And just luckily, the Jarvan and the Scion together did not have the damage to mitigate the healing factor on Mundo's ultimate.
Yeah, so one of the things that that Mundo is going to need to do is you got to make sure you try and activate your W before you get hit with all that CC, because Mundo will gain that that tenacity once he has the W activated. So I think that might have been a little bit of a misplay, but he's able to get out with only burning his flash. Ashe going very aggro.
Ooh.
Winds up getting sniped out by the Leona and the Caitlyn. So that
Smart play.
roam, yeah, that roam that the Taric took was punished pretty heavily, and that's going to be a lot of turret plates going down to Bronze 5H in the bot lane. So even though Bronze 5H hasn't gotten a lot of action as far as kills, they are leading pretty heavily in terms of tower plates.
Man, and the Taric comes in and immediately just takes so much damage. It's so oppressive right now, this bot lane combo on Bronze 5H. Both Cephas and Psychopaths just doing a lot of really good work, a lot of great decision making down there.
Yeah, and Caitlyn's got to get the BF sword. She's also got a cull. So it looks like she's trying to stack up to try and mitigate her mid-game slump she kind of has as far as her power spike is concerned.
Yeah, and she's also got a 30 CS lead on Ashe now.
Yeah, it was even, and now it's a 30 CS lead. You're right.
You know, it's crazy how much a single decision can actually change things in the game. Just thinking that Infernal Drake changed a lot for top lane, and now that kill on Ashe combined with some of the decisions that Caitlyn Cephas and Psychopaths made earlier just led to this huge lead that they now have.
Yeah, so Scion will still have TP advantage. His TP is about to come off cooldown. It's going to be very interesting to see if they try to contest this Mountain Drake that looks like Shyvana's trying to set up for. Mundo has no way of stopping the teleport. All he can do is try and damage the Scion before he teleports. Tristana going in. Syndra knocks her away. That's half her health gone, though, in one combo. Mundo looks like he might be trying to go for an all-in.
I mean, the trades that Tristana keeps going for in mid lane are exactly what Bronze 5H wants, though. You don't need to get a kill on Syndra in mid. You just need to push her out of lane, force her to recall, and then you're healthy enough to stay in lane and just get that CS lead rolling for you.
So Bronze 5H is going for this Mountain Drake. Both Scion and Syndra do have teleport if they want to go for it. But I say you just give this up. There's no reason you have to try and fight this or contest this.
Yeah, let the Shyvana get one dragon. You already got one early. It's the Infernal Drake. Infernal Drake helps you in lane. It helps you in team fights. Mountain Drake only helps get those neutral objectives.
And the Mundo's starting up the Rift Herald. This is out 13 minutes, 30 seconds. So they'd have to use it very, very quickly if they want to try and get turret plates. I don't think they're going to be in time.
Yeah, it'll be awfully close if they can kill it fast and put it in top lane or mid lane. It'll be awfully close. I don't think they're going to make it.
Looks like they're going to try and put it in top lane since they have plenty of pressure in bot lane. The stun lands onto the Leona. They're just going to disengage, though.
Yeah,
that tower is on just a tiny bit of health left. And if Mundo drops the Herald top lane, the charge will take the first tower. So it's going to be a race to see whether Bronze 5H gets the top tower or the bot tower first. And Jarvan should know that they're trying to go for this. So Jarvan should be trying to position either aggressively, either top lane or bot lane.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. Oh, we got a little skirmish in top lane here.
Yep, another noodle fight. There is a little bit of kill pressure, but these tanks both have quite a lot of health and resistances right now. Mundo does do the percent health with his cleavers.
Just able to keep chasing him down because the cleaver's slow, but yeah, he's getting too close to tower for his own comfort. So he backs off, lets it go.
Mundo dropped the ultimate. I think he's waiting to... Oh yeah, he is summoning the Rift Herald. This should create a lot of pressure. Jarvan is here, but they're not going to be able to stop the charge. This tower should go down. Yep.
Yeah, Bronze 5H actually is showing a lot of restraint by not, taking it up top, dropping it as soon as they got it. They held on to it thinking, hey, maybe we'll see a better opening.
Ooh, if they're under tower. There's no minions left. That's going to be a lot of damage going down on the side of Leona and Shyvana. That's 2 towers down. Caitlyn gets a solo goal on that tower, and they get quite a lot of damage done on mid tower as well. So that mid tower is ripe to fall as well.
Yeah, so we brought this up at the beginning of the cast here that if this game goes late, if the scaling on the Tristana and the Caitlyn happens, Bronze 5H have a major advantage, and they're already having a scaling lead here. Oh!
So Slash Arrow goes in, Tarek misses the stun. He has not used his ultimate yet. Leona uses her ultimate. Leona goes down. They're chasing onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn flashes out of the Jarvan Cataclysm. Stun lands for the Tarek. And that's a double kill going down. But both the kills go onto the Tarek, which is less than optimal. But I think that if you're Team Renegatus, you'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, an assist on the Ashe, or 2 assists on the Ashe, is better than no assists on the Ashe. So it still helps.
Yeah, but right now, Syndra is being pushed out of her lane by the Mundo and the Tristana. Tristana goes in, immediately uses her ultimate. I don't think she has enough damage to kill the Syndra, but she does wind up killing the Ashe. 1 for 1.
Very surprised that the Mundo actually went down there. I was expecting him to get out of that, but they had the damage. They were able to take him down in time.
Yeah, I don't know if his ultimate was still down and it just came off of cooldown, but... Oh, Targ is going down. Oh. Yep. He tried to clear the wave with his E, and Tristana punished him for it.
Yeah, this game, for having almost no kills in the beginning of the game, we're now suddenly, we just got 6 kills or 5 kills in the last 2 minutes. So now it's getting spicy.
Yeah. This tower's going to go down. That's 3 towers to 0. Team Renegatus has got to group up. They've got to look for a team fight. They've got tons of really good ultimates. Ashe Arrow's almost have cooldown. Cataclysm for Jarvan's almost have cooldown. I think that this next Drake fight that's going to happen might be what they need to go for. There's a Cloud Drake coming up in 50 seconds. That might be the go button.
Yeah, I mean, they have to make something happen at this point. They're facing a 4,000 gold deficit, And they do have so much CC in their kits, they gotta try something. They need to have a tower, or they need to get a bunch of kills in a team fight, or the upcoming dragon also helps. They just have to start making some moves, or they're just gonna fall more behind as this game goes on.
Yeah, they do need to pull the trigger fast though, because Mundo is split pushing and he does have teleport advantage.
And Dragon is up in a mere 12 seconds or so right now.
Renegatus is giving up priority on the Drake. This could be a free Drake.
It looks like it's going to be a free Drake. Yeah, they're all focusing top lane on Mundo. They're all going through the jungle to try to get him.
So it looks like they're going to go for a pick onto Mundo instead.
Oh!
They do wind up getting the
play.
They do wind up getting the Jarvan, the Mundo, and the Cataclysm. And the Targ ultimate is able to save the Jarvan, but that's 2 ultimates invested for a single kill. Ooh. That's 2 ultimates trying to get the Syndra, but Syndra looks like she's going to walk it out, so they trade 2 ultimates for 1 ultimate. And yeah, that's 1 kill for 0, so I think Renegatus is happy with it. They do wind up giving a Cloud Drake, though, so that's another Drake going over to the side of Shyvana.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt you there when we were starting that team fight, but I was just very impressed by that play that Jarvan made. Dako, I mean, he knows that plant is that explosion is the only way Mundo is easily getting out of the fight.
Yep.
So he intelligently chooses to take the plant himself and immediately go right back on the Mundo with his EQ combo and then ulting him to keep him in place. Just really smart heads up play on his part.
Yeah, that was very smart. I completely agree. And they are able to lock him down. The Mundo almost turned that around, though. He almost got the counter kill onto the Jarvan because Jarvan was trapped inside with him. But thankfully, the target.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it feels when you're up against a Mundo.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Targ drops the ultimate, able to save Jarvan's life. And yeah. Oh, Mundo's popping the ultimate. He wants to try and chase down this Sion. Sion does have the ult. He will be unstoppable.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That said,
guarantee you can make it out.
If I'm the Sion, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll trade ultimate for ultimate with the Mundo.
Oh yeah, easily.
So right now we're in a very weird map state where all 3 outer towers have been taken. We're firmly in the mid game. There's no Drake that's going to be available for at least another 3 minutes, and the teams are not strong enough yet that they could probably take Baron. So it's basically going to be around vision control right now and whether teams can wind up finding a pick. Oh, they get a pick potentially onto the Taric. They're chasing so hard for this Taric. He winds up going down. That's 2 kills for Bronze 5 Age. Mundo winds up going down. The Shyvana wind up going down as well. Only the Leona and the Caitlyn are still left. Tristana's splitting bot lane right now, so if they can just stall out, Tristana will be able to get a lot of damage down this tower. Leona flashes the wall. Sion is still chasing. I don't think there's any way he's going to catch. There's going to be a lot of damage going down on the bot inner tower for the
That
Tristana.
tower's done.
Yeah, she should be able to get it. So, all said, I think Bronze 5H is pretty happy with it. They wind up getting the tower. They wind up going, I believe it was 2 for 2. And she gets quite a lot of damage done on the inhibitor tower as well.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you don't want to give up kills, and they can't see how much of a gold lead they actually have, but they know just looking at the tower difference, 4 towers to 0 towers, that they have a major gold advantage right now.
Yeah, and I think they actually did grow their gold advantage. It's now 5,000 gold on the side of Bronze 5 Age. So yeah, good play by them. The Sion is definitely overextended. It's going to be interesting to see if they try to punish it. No, it looks like they're going to try and sneak a Baron instead.
I mean, ballsy move. I mean, but then again, there's no vision Renegatus that they're going for this. The only clue that they could possibly have is that the only member of Bronze 5 Age showing themselves on the map is Tristana.
Yeah, it looks like they're able to get that. Wow, before 22 minutes, they just sneak the Baron out from the noses of Team Renegatus. And yeah, that there was no vision. The nearest ward was in that little pixel brush, and it did not spot them going into the Baron pit.
Yeah, so we have a 6,000 gold lead at the time that Baron was grabbed. We'll see if Bronze 5 Age are able to grow that by a few thousand more now that they're able to really push these towers and really siege them.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how Bronze 5 Age is going to set up their... Oh, we got Tristana going all in onto the Syndra. Winds up getting the solo kill. It looks like Team Renegatus is going all in onto the Mundo. They wind up dropping the ultimate, so Jarvan's able to get it in. They kill the Mundo, but meanwhile, Caitlyn and Leona are pushing in mid lane, so that's 1 kill for 1 kill. But it looks like mid inner is going to drop, and also mid inhibitor potentially will drop as well with that push going on in mid lane. Tristana is also pushing up bot lane, so setting up the late wave, so they could rotate towards bot lane as well.
Yeah, I would just rotate towards bot lane if I were them at this point. Just get another tower. You don't have to keep sieging mid. You don't have to run away. You can get 2 towers and leave after that.
It looks like they're going to go for a little bit more of a cautious route. They're going to steal the jungle camp, and they might be setting up for this Cloud Drake that's spawning in 12 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good move too. I mean, as we said earlier, Shyvana needs dragons to get stronger with her passive, so why not just get this dragon instead, get Shyvana to a better spot?
Yeah, so this dragon should be free. They should be able to get a reset, spend a lot of their gold. I believe they have quite a bit of gold in their... yeah, Tristana's got 2,600 gold, 1,300 gold on the Caitlyn. So yeah, big buys coming in. Tristana's on 2 items. Caitlyn's on 2 items. So Caitlyn's kind of in a power trough right now. Once she gets like 3 or 4 items, she'll start being a bit stronger again. And Mundo is pretty tanky right now. He's on 2 items. He decided to go for the Swifty boots instead of any other type of like Ninja Tabbies or Merc Treads. So that's kind of an interesting choice.
And I think he's choosing to build that Bramble Vest right now going into Thornmail just because he has died 4 times already, you know. Have that Thornmail just to help against Jarvan, help against Ashe, stay alive longer.
Yep. And the Thornmail does have that, you know, grievous wounds, so that could be very useful. Ashe does have a Bork, but there's not that much other lifesteal on the side of Team Renegatus.
Yeah, not really. I'm sure that's going to be something that'll come into play later as either a detriment or something that, you know, either a detriment to them or something that helps Bronze 5 Age in some team fight down the road. But Leona and Tristana are really pushing up here for this fight.
Yeah, the Caitlyn just arrived. This could be a pretty good fight for Bronze 5 Age. Tark's able to land a stun. It winds up everybody's going out. Jarvan goes in, but winds up getting blown up. Shyvana's at the back line. She most likely will go down to this Ashe. And it looks like the Syndra goes down as well. Tristana is jumping all over the place, getting tons of resets on her rocket jump. And that is a clean ace. They still have the Baron buff. This might be the game.
This is probably the end of the game. Bronze 5 Age, I don't think they're going to let up. I think they're just going to go. Yeah, they're staying. They're going for the end of the game.
So that was a great setup from Bronze 5 Age. The Caitlyn cleared the red buff and then immediately went into their jungle for that fight. They did have good vision control, and Tristana was able to get those resets on the rocket jump. And Bronze 5 Age takes game 1 in this best of 3.
Takes game 1 in a pretty decisive fashion at the end of the game, too. You know, they really just fully committed to that fight and just went for it.
I think they realized that they reached their power spikes. They had all their carries on 2 items. Their tanks were pretty strong on 2 items as well. They had that power spike advantage, and they're able to close out the game. So, what are your thoughts for Team Renegatus going into game 2?
Well, I think the main thing that I took away from that last fight is that they didn't really peel for Syndra, and they didn't really do any peel for Ashe either. Rather, Jarvan, using his EQ combo, using his ultimate, just dove for the Caitlyn and the Tristana all in one go. And he wasn't there to use that combo or use that ultimate to protect Syndra or Ashe. And you have to do that. You know, you need to have peel for those carries. You got to protect them. Sure, you know, Tarek's there to give them some peel, and Sion can give them some peel as well. And Syndra does have a little bit of peel in her own kit, but you really got to make sure that they stay alive, especially when you're at that much of a gold deficit at the end of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the big problems was approaching that team fight. You had the Ashe, who was over kind of like by bot lane, but Syndra was over kind of like by wolves. So it was very hard. They basically had carries on 2 different sides of the fight, and it's very hard to protect multiple flanks, basically, when you're in that type of situation. Meanwhile, the Tristana and the Caitlyn were both right next to each other, which made it very easy for the Shyvana and the Mundo and the Leona to just say, okay, all I got to do is stand in front of these 2 carries and not let anything through. So I think it made it much easier for Bronze 5 Age to close out that last team fight.
Yeah, I the other thing that I would encourage Renegatus to do to change things around for this next game, be more proactive before you hit level 6, especially in the jungle.
Hmm.
They were up against a Shyvana, which is a hard farming jungle. Jarvan has this luxury of just choosing to gank whatever lane he wants to gank because Shyvana can't.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I definitely like that they went for the early Drake. I thought that was an amazing play on their part.
yes, that
That
was
said,
definitely a good play.
Jarvan, if you're going to pick a Jarvan, you have to be nonstop ganking. You don't farm. You just gank, 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 and you just try and get your lanes ahead. And then you try to catch up on the rubber band experience that you get from the camps once the camps respawn.
Yeah. Don't farm minions, don't farm jungle, farm champions.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
All
Well,
right. So I think we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back for game 2 very shortly.
All right, we are back, everybody. We are getting ready to start game 2 of this series, which had a pretty explosive and exciting ending there in game 1. Bronze 5 Age taking that first game, and we'll see if Team Renegatus can come back and take this second game to make it a 3-game series. So we already talked a little bit about that last game. After it was done in the post-game lobby, looking at the damage chart. So I just want to know your thoughts here, Randomonium. If we're going into game 2 and we're thinking from the perspective of Renegatus, do we want to change any of our bans from game 1? Do we want to ban something that they picked for game 1 rather than, that Sivir, that Azir, that Malphite for the first 3 bans that they had last time?
I don't feel like the Malphite is that important. I mean, maybe they've seen something previously, but you could potentially swap out that Malphite for something else, like the Tristana or something like that. It did seem like the mid lane was kind of the one that was the most lopsided. So maybe you try to focus Prophet a little bit more and try and knock him down to something he's a little bit less comfortable on.
Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. I do wonder why the Malphite was the ban choice coming out from them, only because they have not played Malphite in any of their matches except for one game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
it just doesn't seem to me like Bronze 5 Age has Malphite at that high of a priority for them to pick in the first place.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing is that Bronze 5 Age did a very good job at playing to their win condition. They had a very siege style composition. They gave up that first Drake like uncontested, but they were able to get a huge advantage in top lane. And then they were able to convert that into a ton of plates, both mid and bot. And they were able to knock down all 3 towers before Team Renegade was able to get 0. And they used that gold lead to snowball the game out of control. Shyvana was power farming really, really strong, and the Jarvan didn't really have enough ganks in the early game to really negate that scaling advantage that the Shyvana had. So what I would like to see from Team Renegadas is more clearly defined win conditions, and they need to play to those win conditions. If you're going to draft an early game jungler like a Jarvan, you have to be really aggressive on that pick. And if you want to go for something more scaling oriented, then you need to draft lanes that can play safely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Bronze 5 Age, one thing I really have to commend them on last game is that after they took those first 3 towers and they were pushing towards the second tier towers for every single lane, Mundo ended up being this enormous just distraction up in top lane where
Yep.
Renegade started sending more than one person up there to deal with him, and that left the other 2 lanes weak enough or lower in priority for them, so that Bronze 5 Age can make those 2 lanes a higher priority for them and really push their advantages in mid lane and bot lane.
Yep, that's a great point. Yeah, so I think we are ready.
Ready for draft phase here for game number 2. Yeah, if as soon as they get it going, it should be any second here. I'm really excited to see what changes, what adjustments that both teams make. I don't expect Bronze 5 Age to just sit on their laurels there and go for the same type of team comp. I expect some different picks coming out of them, even though even though their team comp from this first game was so successful for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a first pick Mundo on the side of Renegadas and putting that in the jungle.
Yeah, that
That'd
would
be a
be really
takeaway from the
interesting.
top laner, and I think it would actually be an all around solid pick for Daco.
So Renegatus already makes an adjustment in their bans. They banned 280 carries right away with Sivir and Caitlyn. Will they follow it up with Tristana and just make it 380 carry bans right away here in the first phase?
Yeah, that would open up the Azir potentially for the Prophet, but yeah, it looks like they're going to go towards
Wow.
that. And I definitely don't mind that. It's going to basically negate that ability to do that sieging win condition and force Bronze 5 Age onto something else instead.
Yeah. And Bronze 5 A's sticking with their same first 3 bans here. They got Rumble, Kale, and Soraka. Just they believe that those are the best bans for them.
So Team Renegatus stealing that Leona pick instead. So Leona has been first pick both games now.
Yeah, I don't mind picking your support for your first pick. It doesn't give away a lot of what you're planning on doing with your team comp. It doesn't give your opponent a chance to counter pick a lane yet, because counter picking a support doesn't really matter. You can throw a ton of different champions in support and it'll work fine. But Bronze 5H does first pick that Dr. Mundo, just like you said Renegatus should do. But Bronze
Mhm.
5H says, nope, this is one of our big tools. This is a huge priority. We really need to get it right away. And they follow it up with a Jinx, who is my favorite AD carry in the entire game. She is my favorite champ in the whole game, period, regardless of what lane. I love watching Jinx, and I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, and just like the Sivir, 400 or 500 CS win condition, Jinx has also got a win condition too. Once she gets to 3-4 items, she just becomes insanely difficult to deal with, especially once she get able to get as soon as one person falls and she's able to proc her passive, she becomes out of control.
Yeah, it's really difficult to deal with a Jinx on, an Infinity Edge, a Runon's Hurricane, and then any third item, really, in a situation like that. But Renegatus follows it up with a Vayne and a Jar. Interesting two picks to follow up after seeing the Jinx and the Mundo come through.
So the Captain Goose does have some Vayne games in his match history. This might be a Vayne top lane, which is a pretty strong counter to Mundo.
Very, I love the balls. I love just them going for that, if that is where Vayne ends up going. And then
And actually,
Alice.
Vayne is great into this. You've got two massive tanks
Yeah.
in the Doctor Mundo and the Alistar. Potentially, you could also go towards a Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa and Vayne are two really, really good anti-tank 80 carries. And that could be just what the Doctor ordered if Team Renegatus wants to go towards a team fight composition that can shred through tanks.
Yeah, it would be really interesting if they do go for 280 carries in their position, just basically saying to Bronze 5H, anything you can do, I can do better, going into game 2 here. But we'll see if they do end up picking that Kai'Sa for, having 280 carries in their lineup. And Bronze 5H bans Mordekaiser. This is different from game number 1 with their bans. Not really sure why they're choosing Mordekaiser this time. Maybe they think Mordekaiser lines up better with the rest of the composition that Renegatus has. But
Yeah,
Renegatus, does ban out that Azir. They do want to take that out of the hands of Prophet.
Yeah, so on game 1, we saw a huge priority on jungle bans, but because the Jarvan was picked up in the first rotation, you're seeing that they're turning away from the jungle bans to more towards top and mid-centric bans.
I like the Rise band coming out of Bronze 5H. He's in a good spot right now. He is a threat. He has a lot of mobility just with his ultimate alone, moving himself plus allies around to start a team fight potentially. So that's a really good pick in my eyes for taking off of the board here. And my team, especially every game we've played against a Rise in our matches, we've lost. So I like seeing a Rise getting taken away.
That's a Karma, so that's most likely a Karma mid lane. So
I'm not
Karma mid lane
sure.
coming out on the side of for Prophet. That's an interesting pickup.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I guess it kind of depends on the rest of Renegatus' picks and what Bronze 5H ends up picking for their final one. I've
My
always
guess
looked
is
at
that they're going to go
Karma.
towards another tank. It looks like this is going to be a Protect the Jinx composition.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a Protect the Jinx composition. I mean, they tend to work pretty easily and pretty well.
And the Swain coming out, this is really interesting. I don't see that many Swain games for either the mid lane or the top laner.
You know what? Like, if the Leona wasn't on the board, I would expect that to be a Swain support, but the Leona really can't go anywhere except support. So,
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to end up playing that Swain.
And the
When they round
Nico.
out with Nico. Ooh.
So Vayne looks like she may be going towards bot lane. It is his third most played champion. So it could be either Swain. Swain could go either mid or top, and Nico could go mid or top. And I don't see either of these players playing either of those champions.
So would Nico or Swain be better to go up against Mundo, do you think? Because I'm leaning towards Nico being the better pick against Mundo.
Oh wow, and that's an Oriana coming out. So that's a Mundo jungle. That's a Karma top Mundo jungle.
Oh man.
Oriana mid lane. So they definitely threw us for a loop there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they took the top lane Mundo, which is his most played champion, and decided to move it to the jungle. And Karma, I do believe he does have a few games on Karma. So yeah, that might be a top lane Nico versus a top lane Karma, and then Swain versus Oriana in the mid lane.
I I don't know what to think about this team comp from Bronze 5H. I just don't know how to feel about it because typically in a comp where you want to protect Jinx, it doesn't look like this.
So the problem that I see on the side of Bronze 5 Age is that the only form of engage they really have is the Alistar Headbutt Pole, which is definitely a decent engage. But if I'm looking on the side of Team Renegatus, they have way better forms of engage with the Jarvan, the Leona. So I think that Team Renegatus could definitely start the fights if they're advantageous, and they still have a decent enough amount of peel to keep the Vayne alive. The Nico AoE ultimate, the Swain AoE ultimate, the Jarvan with his Cataclysm, and Vayne combos really well with the Jarvan because she can use his Cataclysm to basically be that wall for a stun.
Yeah, and then if the whole point of the comp is to protect Jinx, having Mundo and Alistar there to act as this big beefy front wall for them, Vayne kind of defeats that automatically with her kit. She can take Mundo and Alistar no problem.
Yep. So that is a Nico top lane going up against the Karma.
I love the Nico top lane, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Although I don't really know how that would work going up against Karma. I don't really know which one of them would have the advantage in that matchup or how that really plays out between them. So that'll be interesting to see. Swain can definitely be played in mid lane. It's not that he can't be. It's just that for me personally, I think Swain is a better pick in top or support.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I don't know if the Orianna is going to be able to have kill pressure on this Swain. And the Swain has got actually a really good setup with the Jarvan. If he lands his E, then that's pretty much guarantees the Jarvan EQ.
Yeah, it basically is. Or if Swain and Jarvan coordinate it where the Orianna gets knocked up by the EQ combo from Jarvan, that can automatically give Swain his passive to pull Orianna closer to them, so that flashing out of that fight isn't really an option anymore for Orianna because she'll die anyway.
Yep. Yeah, so Jarvan's got some great lanes to set up for gank. So I'm really hoping that we see Jarvan just non-stop ganking. Mundo can gank early. It's definitely can gank more often than the Shyvana can.
Yes.
But Mundo basically he's got to land that cleaver if he wants to be able to be successful on his gank. And the problem is that if you're looking at how he can set up the ganks, you're looking at Karma would have to land her tether, or the Orianna has the slow or the shockwave, or Alistar has to land a headbutt pull. It seems like it's a lot harder for the Mundo to have successful ganks as opposed to the Jarvan.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Swain, Nico, Leona, they all knocking down an opponent and real easy ways of engaging for a Jarvan gank. It basically, if they land any amount of CC, Jarvan gets a guaranteed EQ combo to extend how long that champion is stunned for or stuck there for. It makes any gank almost a guaranteed kill, if not a guaranteed. Well, I got it back now because I can't stay in lane at this point, and you're gonna seed over one or two waves of CS and get that lane ahead anyway.
Yeah, so I definitely think that Jarvan is huge in this team composition. He's got to get his team ahead. I mean, I'm a jungler, so I've got jungler bias, but I'm really looking to be focusing on this Jarvan and how he's pathing and how he's ganking. And then likewise, I definitely want to look at Bronze 5 Age and see if they're able to absorb the pressure. If they're able to stall out, I think they're going to be pretty happy because the Jinx, once she gets 3-4 items, even a Vayne is going to struggle because the Jinx will have the range advantage. It's harder for Vayne to stay safe than it is for a Jinx to stay safe.
Yep, that's definitely a true statement right there. I mean, whenever I have played Vayne, I've always been worried about just getting poked out by anybody I'm up against because that range on Vayne is so low, or it feels so low when you're playing her. I honestly think, looking at both of these compositions, that the advantage really is for Renegatus this time around. Not just, hey, let it scale to, or don't let it scale to late game. If it gets to late game, you're definitely not going to win, because they do have champs this time around that do scale really well going into late game, just like Bronze 5 Age does. I really think Renegatus has the advantage early, mid, and late game here. They got early game pressure in every single lane with CC and Jarvan ganking it if Jarvan gets to play aggressively this time around. Mid in the mid game, Swain is going to be an issue. Nico's going to be an issue. Vayne is going to be an issue to tanks as soon as she gets a couple of items on her. And then in the late game, Vayne is just going to tear apart any tanks on Bronze 5H, while Nico and Swain will have a ton of damage.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely think that Renegatus have more ways that they can win. I think that on the side of Bronze 5H, it's all in the Jinx basket. I don't think that Renegatus is like completely reliant on the Vayne. Like the Nico can pop off, the Swain can pop off. So there's more ways, I think, for Renegatus to get ahead and close it out. It's just going to be a question of whether or not they're able to execute. I think that if they wind up being too passive, then that might wind up favoring Bronze 5H.
Yeah, I mean, Bronze 5H does like to play, I wouldn't say aggressively as much as they just like to not sit still in their lanes. They like to move around and try things out to see if it works. And if it fails, it fails, but they will still try to do things. That's one of the strengths of their team, is that they just trust each other to move around the map and make plays. And if the plays don't pan out, they go, oh, well, we'll try better next time. And they just let it fall off their shoulders and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to watching this game. I as I said earlier, Jinx is my favorite champion in the entire game. I love her. Looking forward to watching her get some big plays. Orianna is probably my number one mid lane pick right now, just for myself to play. So I really want to see Orianna get some really cool moments in here, get some good shock waves that catch 3-4 people in them, and just watch chaos ensue from that. But at the same time, watching a really good Vayne constantly able to pull off good dodge rolls, able to constantly just shred tanks, that's really fun to watch too. Swain's ultimate is fun to watch if he can, get in the middle of a team fight and just really wreak havoc with it. Nico's really fun to watch as well, especially if she uses a lot of her a lot of the clone that she can make to like really confuse people. She could get some really amazing plays in top lane against Karma if she's able to successfully do that. Yep. There's going to be a lot of really fun things to watch pretty much everywhere on the map this game.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see that if I'm the Vayne, what I'm most worried about is the ball. Like that's the real thing that I'm keeping my eye on, is Orianna's ball. If I'm on the side of the Jinx, like there's so much stuff you have to worry about. You got to worry about Jarvan, you got to worry about Swain, Leona, Nico, and if any of them have flash, that's extremely dangerous for the Jinx to try and step up.
Yeah. And one thing, I think you touched on this earlier, just very brief, but there is some interesting synergy between Vayne and Jarvan. Puts his ultimate up, and Vayne can immediately keep somebody in there by knocking them into the wall of the ultimate so they can't flash out right away.
Yep. And it looks like Bronze 5H is stacking up. They've got 4 people going all towards the bot side of the map.
Ooh, spicy invades. Here we go.
This is what we saw with Clutch Gaming versus Fnatic, I believe. Oh no, they're going to take a detour, and they're going to go towards the...
Being a little indecisive, maybe.
Yep.
I mean, that is a good spot. You're not going to be caught. If somebody is sitting in that tri-bush, they're not going to see you. You're still in fog of war.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're waiting for, though.
Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for at all.
Looks like they might be going for a late invade. They're assuming the Jarvan's going to start on his red.
Okay, they just decide to ward and leave. They're not...
Okay.
They're not confident enough to just go in the tri-bush and go into the jungle. Like, want to play it safer and not give a kill over right away at the beginning of the game, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very curious how many wards they've devoted 2 wards for this level 1.
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't think those wards are going to reveal much in jungle pathing, because the ward in the Pixel Bush and River is going to die before the Rift Scuttle is going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to catch Jarvan.
So we got both junglers starting on their blues, so they will have alternate pathing. So Munda will be top lane for level 3, and Jarvan will be bot lane for level 3.
Nico is camouflaging herself as Vayne in top lane.
Yeah, might as well, right?
That's really funny. I like that.
Hey, it could be that Vayne top lane. You never know.
I mean, before Vayne takes her silver bolts, you can't tell if it's Vayne or Nico. So neither top nor bot lane on Bronze 5H knows who it actually is at this point.
Yep.
Oh, Nico has revealed herself now, so they do know it's Nico top now.
Yeah, and the Vayne did use Tumble.
Ooh, good combo by Nico there.
Yes, Nico was able to get a slightly faster level 2 and was able to get a little bit of a good trade. Bot lane for Bronze 5H gets level 2 first, so that's going to force the Vayne and the Leona to back up.
I am expecting Orianna in mid lane to have a bit of an advantage early.
Vayne didn't get the CS for one of the minions, so she's still level 1. She finally gets level 2 though.
Ooh. Yeah, you definitely don't want Jinx to hit level 2 before you, because Jinx has a kind of weak laning phase.
Oni is really low.
Oh no, Oni! Why'd you do that, buddy?
I think he was he a few seconds off of his smite? That's been my downfall multiple times so far.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, definitely. You hate it, but it happens. Anyway, as I was saying, you know, Jinx has some... she has a weak laning phase for her first few levels. So you don't want her hitting level 2 before, because that keeps her, you know, in a safe spot. It helps her out more to really push for that level 2, level 3 before you. You want to try to prevent
Jarvan
that as
coming down
much as
for a gank right now. Let's see if he tries to pull the trigger. Alistar does drop the ward.
Are they waiting to let the lane push a little more?
Yeah, I think you go in on this. I think you go for this.
I think you gotta. Yep, Leona goes in for the stun. That's perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh!
Well played by Psychopez, but they able to get the stun onto the Jinx. She winds up having to force the flash, and Vayne winds up taking one tower shot. I think that's worth, but that was actually really well played by Psychopez.
Yeah, that was one hell of a headbutt.
He's able to interrupt the EQ combo from the Jarvan. That should have been at least a kill. So really well done by Psychopez.
This is why you don't let him play Alistar. It's his best champ.
So Vayne could potentially get another wall stun, but nope. Winds up holding it a little bit too long.
So I was saying this briefly earlier. I was expecting Orianna to have an advantage in Swain. Turns out I was kind of right on that one. Swain is already recalling. Orianna took him down to almost no health.
So yeah, Swain does wind up blowing the teleport. Orianna went for the barrier instead, though, so she will have to walk back to lane. If Swain is able to push this pretty fast, he might be able to deny a few minions.
You know, if you're Swain, you're hoping to get a tower plate, but you're not, you know, he's just not pushing the lane hard enough to even, you know, try to go for a tower plate at this point.
Yeah, it's hard with Swain because they nerfed the wave clear that he has a little bit, which is why we've seen him more in the support role. So yeah, it looks like he's struggling a little bit to push the wave.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because he could have he had the potential there to put a lot more pressure on Orianna than what he ended up doing.
So Nico is forced to blow her teleport as well. So now Karma does have the teleport advantage, and we see that Nico went for the glacial augment build. Ooh, it looks like we have a fight going on in mid lane. Orianna's got level 6. She could go for the ultimate.
Ooh. That was a lot closer than it should have been, honestly, that fight. If Swain hadn't landed the one...
Ooh, Leona's going in as well. Does proc the silver bolts on the Alistar, but Mundo is down in bot lane. They're gonna have to run, but it looks like they wind up getting out. Ooh, Swain pops his ultimate. Orianna pops the barrier. This is really close. Forces the flash out of the Orianna as well.
Oh my god, that was a close fight.
Yeah, that E would have hit, so that was a very good flash on the side of Orianna.
Couldn't have been any closer, but...
Whoa, why are you going in? Oh, because the Jarvan's here. Jarvan flashes, winds up getting the first blood. They're chasing pretty hard. The Ignite goes down onto the Jinx.
Oh my god.
Oh, and the Vayne winds up getting a kill. Wow, I did not see that coming. I was so confused when Leona went in because the Vayne was not in a position to follow up. The Jarvan, by able to blow his flash, is able to land that EQ, and they wind up getting 2 kills. So very impressive the side of Renegatus.
Nice decisive plays.
Ooh, Nico ultimate going down, has got the Karma down to about half health.
Man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Renegatus. This is a big change from last game.
Yep, they're being a bit more aggressive, which is great. Oh, another root lands. Karma uses her mantra W, is able to heal up quite a bit. And that's an early Ocean Drake. That's going to help with the sustain considerably. That's one of the
Comes
best
at a
drakes you
really
get
good
in the
time
early
for
game.
Nico, too.
Yeah.
She needs some health regeneration right now.
And Nico goes for the cull, so she may not want to go for any game fights, actually.
Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Renegatas. They're okay being more aggressive this game. They're really pushing for some advantages here.
Ooh, Swain lands to the E. Winds up dealing a bit more damage. However, their itemization is weird. We've got the Vayne who's going to the Vamp Scepter as opposed to the BF Sword for the Jinx. We've got the Cull coming out on the side of the Nico. But it does look like Jarvan's going for the Warrior instead of the Cinderhulk, so he's looking to be more aggressive. We got an all-in from the Swain in mid lane. He misses the W. Oof. Orianna lands the ultimate. I think that Swain's going to be happy with that, because as soon as his ultimate comes off of cooldown, he's got kill pressure.
Yep. Definitely. I actually don't mind Vayne taking Vampster if she's going for the Blade of the Ruin King as her first item. Mainly because that's just going to help her in lane, just keep Alistar afraid, just poke at him. If Mundo comes for a gank, it helps stop Mundo's gank ability. So I'm definitely okay with that being her first item.
Yeah, but just the power discrepancy is there.
Yeah.
The Jinx has got a BF Sword. The Vayne has got a Vamp Scepter. I think the Jinx has definitely got a bit more kill pressure right now compared to the Vayne. Jarvan's holding the blue buff for Swain.
Yep. I mean, Swain needs it, let's be honest.
Yep.
Orianna needs it too, but not as much as Swain does. You know, she can hold on to it. All right, never mind.
A little bit of a trade going on in the mid lane. So you can see that that Odioken on this Mundo, he does have a CS and experience advantage. But Jarvan should be able to catch up once he starts clearing his camps. He should be able to rebound. He should get that rubber band experience. And I would expect him to go for potentially a level 6 play, either bot lane or mid lane. However, they are pretty warded out now in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard for Jarvan to actually get a gank in bot lane.
He's had to be very creative. He should know that a ward went down.
Ooh, good plays by Swain.
We got an all-in coming in mid lane. Looks like they're just going to trade some autos and then gentleman's agreement and back out.
Yeah. Really intelligent plays there by Swain, though. You know, the way that...
Ooh, never mind. Orianna lands the ultimate. Swain pops his ultimate. Swain's going all in. Healing off of the minions. Both mid laners playing very cautiously right now.
Like, we think a fight is over in the mid lane, and they go back to CS, and then 2 seconds later, they just go at each other's throats again.
Yep. Oh, they're baiting. They're baiting to try and get this Leona to step up.
I like the bait. I like this.
The Jarvan's there too. This is going to be a spicy 3v3 potentially. They go all in. They wind up going in on the Mundo. Ultimate goes down. Jarvan lands his ultimate, gets onto the Jinx. Mundo goes down. Vayne pops her final hour. I don't think she's going to be able to get a kill, but she should force them to back potentially.
That was a really, really good call there. Oh.
There's another all-in potentially. It looks like Swain might get the advantage. One more. Oh! Stopwatch goes down. Winds up getting the kill, though.
Oh, that was such a good Zonia's, but, you know, Swain's not really...
Jinx ultimate came in, just barely missed the Swain as well.
It was a good Zonia's, but Swain didn't have to back off. There was no pressure for him to back off. He just had to wait to get that auto attack one more time.
Yep.
Man, that was good, though. That was fun. That was fun to watch.
So we got another Drake coming up in 55 seconds. I think that Vayne wants to get it back. She's sitting on a decent amount of gold, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1,300 gold.
Yep, that's a lot of gold there. You should go spend that. Get stronger.
Yeah, but if she can delay the Jinx from backing, then that might be worth it.
Yeah, but if I was Jinx and Alistar and I knew the Vayne had backed, I would just I would stay for one tower plate before backing.
Yeah, the problem with that is that it would set you up to potentially lose tempo on the Drake if Renegatus wanted to try and force that Drake. So it's a question of, do you value the Drake more, or do you value a turret plate more at this stage in the game?
For me, it would depend on the Drake, and this one is only a cloud.
Uh-oh, Swain's going aggro, but Mundo is here. He's flashing after the Orianna. Winds up landing the E. He's going to get the 1v2 outplay. Mundo is popping his ultimate. He should be able to chase down this Swain. Trades 1 for 1. But hey, if I'm Renegatus, that's a win for me, definitely.
Absolutely. You know, Swain doesn't have a lot of power in the beginning of the game. Getting early kills on Swain is really what you him. So good job for that.
And you also forced the Mundo to use... I thought Mundo used his ultimate, but it's showing up for me that he still has it.
Yeah, same here. I thought he used it too.
Yeah, I thought he used it, but maybe he didn't. It's showing like that it's up, so it may be a spectator bug. But all in all, good job by the Swain. He does also have teleport as well. Karma just walked over a ward, so they know that she's going towards mid lane.
Yeah, this is some really good stuff I'm seeing out of Renegatus. You know, Swain might have died at the end of that exchange, but it's still 5 kills to 1. You still have a gold advantage. You know, they probably don't know how much of an advantage it is, but they should know it's probably around 1,000, maybe a little more than that. And they also have the only dragon so far that either team has grabbed. You know, I would be nothing but happy right now if I was their team after all of these great moments.
Yeah, both these bot laners really want to go back to base, though. Both bot laners have over 2,000 gold in their inventory right now.
Yeah, Mundo, meanwhile, is sitting in Dragon Pit. He put a ward down in there for... just gonna keep track of it for now, because they're not really making any calls or moves to try to take that dragon.
Nico's sitting in base. She may be looking for a TP play, potentially. Swain hits the E yet again. He's been very accurate with that ability.
Yeah,
ooh, Orianna with another ultimate.
A lot of Swains, you know, when you're picking up the champion or you're learning him, it's really hard to get good with that E. It's really difficult to figure out the spacing and the timing on that.
So Jinx just back. She has a completed Infinity Edge. If Renegatus wants to go for this Drake, they have to be very fast with it, because once that Jinx gets in, they will not be able to fight her. And it looks like they will be able to get it uncontested. So that's now 2 Drakes going down on the side of Renegatus. Really like how proactive they're being in this early game.
Yeah, like, you know, like we noticed right away earlier, this is a complete 180 from how they played game 1. They played game 1 very methodically and slowly and just tried to just, you know, let the laning phase play itself out, and then after that start making moves. But they've been making moves since minute like 5 of this game.
Yep.
Ooh, Swain misses the grasp. Almost could have trapped Jinx there for a second.
Yeah, so I don't know if he really wanted to hit that, though, because it was 3v1 in that scenario.
I mean, you pull her in, you hit her with a Q to get some poke damage on her. I'm not saying necessarily take a full all-in fight.
Yep. So right now we're in kind of a little bit of a reset. Mundo is on the top side of the map. Jarvan's on bot side. Looks like Jarvan wants to go for a potential another gank. They know that the Mundo is there.
Yeah, and even though Swain is ahead of the Orianna, both in CS and kills and gold, you know, he's ahead of her in every single regard. You still got to be careful of Orianna, because one QW on one, you know, command attack, and you know, it just does so much damage.
Swain walks right into the Mundo and gets popped very quickly.
And the kill goes over to Orianna too, which is important.
Yep. Nico's going all in, flashes forward, lands a Pop Blossom, forces the flash of the Karma. Oh, lands the slow, lands the E. That's a solo kill going over to the Nico.
Nice moves by Nico. Very nice to get that kill. Would have liked to have gotten it right after the ultimate, where you didn't have to waste, you know, where you didn't have to use the item there. I forget the name of that specific item. The Hextech GLP, whatever the number is.
And we've got Mundo and Orianna versus Jarvan and Nico in the pit. Mundo winds up flashing out. That might just be a leash on the side of Team Renegatus, and they wind up securing the Rift Herald, and they give it to the top laner instead of the jungler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was necessarily communicated to do it. It might have just been, you know, hey, I'm just going to walk over it and grab it real quick while I go back to lane, because we're just happy that we got it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's definitely one of those moments for Renegatus. It's just a very lucky kind of, hey, thanks for the leash. We'll be taking this now. See ya.
Yeah, and you also burned the flash on the Mundo as well, so That's a pretty huge advantage.
Yeah, because if you look, I mean, back when they were taking it, Bronze 5H definitely did not have priority over that. Karma was dead. Karma was not near that. It was Mundo and Oriana, and they were going to be going up against a Swain, a Jarvan, and a Nico if Oriana had gone to that pit to
Yeah, well,
really go for that.
the Swain, I believe, had just died to the Mundo gank, but he did have teleport, so it could
Yeah.
have easily been a 2v3. Ooh, Swain lands the E again.
God. If he lands that E, he does so much to Oriana, but if he misses that E, all of the advantage goes to Oriana.
And Karma looks like she's wanting to try and go in, but the Jarvan is here, winds up getting the Cataclysm. The Pop Blossom misses, unfortunately.
She just went to the wrong side of the Cataclysm. They're just outside of where Karma was.
Yep. So a little bit of a miscommunication. Jarvan can cancel the Cataclysm, and that would have allowed the Nico to go in, but it also would have allowed the Karma to get out. Swain does get a flank onto the Oriana. And Mundo is spotted on a ward in bot lane. Another gank in top lane. Lands the EQ. That should be a dead Karma. But god dang, she's so tanky with that Mantra W.
There it is.
Winds up eventually going down. But meanwhile, we've got the Mundo chasing the Vayne. Vayne should be able to control the space enough that Mundo can't really get close to her. And they wind up dropping the Rift Herald in top lane. This tower should go down.
Yep, Renegatus gets another advantage up in top lane now with this Rift Scuttle. You know, drop Shelly, get a tower. First tower of the game, get that gold bonus.
Yep. And somebody's going to have to answer Shelly on the top side, and there's a Drake that's... Oh, the force out flash from the Vayne. Vayne tumbled forward aggressively. Jinx punished with the W and forced the Vayne to flash out. But this is going to force them to send somebody top lane, which will open up the Drake potentially for Renegatus if they want to take it here in 20 seconds.
Yeah, when it comes to Shelly getting dropped in a lane, one tower is the most you generally hope for. It's already worth it just getting one tower, but they get two out of it.
Yeah, and we see the Jarvan and Nico are sticking around a bit longer to try and take Krugs and things like that. So they're giving up a little bit of a tempo advantage in order to steal those camps.
And yeah, I mean, we're seeing a 4,000 gold lead now almost on this game here in favor of Renegatus.
Oh man, Swain lands another E, forces the flash out from the Oriana.
Really good escape by Oriana there.
My goodness.
That could have easily been her death, but a well-timed sombrero, and then she flashes.
So it looks like Bronze 5H wants to go for this Drake. It might be a good timing window for them. Swain is about half health.
Yeah, and it's an Ocean Drake, you know. If you're having issues dying here, if you're having issues with getting bullied out of your lanes, Ocean Drake helps a lot with that.
The Karma stepped forward to try and finish off the Swain, but she might end up playing with it with her life. Vayne is on a rampage right now. Moving forward, should be able to knock down this Alistar even through his ultimate.
And Renegatus just pushes their gold lead a little more.
Oh, winds up getting the stun onto the Mundo. Mundo pops his ultimate, is going in. Nico is zoning with her ultimate. That's going to be the Mundo going down as well. And this should be a decent amount of damage going on for mid lane.
Great heads up play by Vayne, you know, just recognizing that is an opening all on its own and just going for it. And the rest of the team having the good faith to follow her up on that and get that extra kill.
Yeah, and I really like how Nico just completely isolated the Mundo from the rest of his team. They could not try to save the Mundo at all. Otherwise, they would have walked right into that Nico ultimate.
So, you know, Renegatus resets, they recall, they go back to base, buy some items, get back out into their lanes. Swain is going to nearly take this mid tower, but just don't have enough minions there to keep getting the auto attacks.
Yeah, and this Vayne is starting to become a massive problem for Bronze 5H. The Mundo is not tanky enough, the Alistar is not tanky enough, and if the Vayne can stay ahead of them in the power curve, they're never going to be able to run at her, basically, because that's all they can really do.
Yeah, there's some scary stuff there that Renegatus has going now. You know, 10 kills to 2 kills, 2 dragons, 2 towers to 0 towers. Bronze 5H knows that they're at a huge disadvantage at the moment, and they should definitely be afraid of this Vayne. But also the Nico, also the Swain. There's just a lot to be afraid of. There's a lot that you need to take into account now every time you want to engage anyone.
Yep, and because Jarvan's going for a little bit more of an aggressive build, Warrior into Black Cleaver, that does create a lot of problems potentially for the Orianna or the Jinx. They have to be very cognizant of where this Jarvan is because he will be able to burst them to at least 50% health with his combo.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, just things are calming down a little bit here, and that's not what I was expecting would happen after that. You know, generally when you have this much of a, you want to just keep pushing your lead. You want to keep going for these advantages and just keep it snowballing. Basically, have that snowball roll down the hill and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now, Renegatus is kind of okay to sit back for a second and let things reset for a little while. And I don't necessarily agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. They're sending the Vayne solo into top lane. I don't know if she's going to be able to defend this tower.
Nah, she has to kind of keep her distance. Karma and Mundo have enough lockdown.
But we have an invade going in on the side on the blue buff of Bronze 5 Age. They wind up catching the Alistar, but he is pretty beefy with the Jinx, or sorry, the Vayne not being there.
An ultimate goes down from Leona, but it's kind of wasted because Alistar just gets away from that right away. I don't think that was a good choice to ult him there. You know, you got to recognize that with that ultimate, he's probably going to escape no matter what you do.
Yeah, I'm very curious what the reasoning was to send the Vayne top lane. If you want to go for a potential play, you want to be fighting with that Jinx, or sorry, with the Vayne. That's where most of your gold is.
Yeah. I mean, they're still keeping their gold lead. They're still 4,000, almost 5,000 gold ahead. But at the same time, you have a really easy turret in lane to hit. It's almost dead already. You have another tower down in bot lane that you can take care of real easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try to push for one of those objectives.
Yep. Yeah, and the problem is that Nico is going for more of the utility build, so she's not going to have the burst damage with the Leona to actually really have kill pressure against this Jinx or this Alistar, unless they get like some really, really crazy combo going on. They really need the Vayne is really where a lot of their damage is, and probably the Swain as well.
Yeah, they really need to just focus around those two champs for everything at this point. Yeah, Nico's utility is real nice. I she'll build on her. But...
yeah, Karma's caught out, winds up flashing. I think she's still going to go down, though. Yep.
Yeah, Vayne just has too much damage.
Yeah, I think that flash was... You didn't need to burn it. You just accept your death and save that flash for another day. Alistar goes in with a headbutt pull. Ooh, Leona goes in. Nico drops the Pop Blossom, forces the flash out. Ultimate's going down. Mundo is here. They should be able to kill Leona at the bare minimum. Yep. So I wind up killing the Leona. So again, this is what I'm talking about. If you don't have the Vayne or the Swain with you, you're not going to have enough damage to be able to burst out anyone on the side of Bronze 5 Age. Ooh, early stopwatch. I think she wanted to save that until they took turret aggro, but she
that was interesting. I mean, Vayne could have easily moved up and planted her traps right underneath Nico, and they would have killed her as soon as the Zhonya's was done.
Yeah. So I think the Renegatus has definitely fumbled a little bit with their lane assignments. They put the Vayne in top lane, and all they were able to get was that single kill. And meanwhile, they wind up giving up a tower, a Drake, potentially, and
TP coming in, though.
TP is coming in. Nico gets the Pop Blossom. So winds up Mundo gets the Drake, but are they going to win the team fight? Vayne has arrived. She's going to start cleaning up. Oh my goodness. Vayne is going to wind up acing them. And able to chase down this Orianna.
Wow.
And that is a clean ace on the side of Renegatus. That's what you need them to do.
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
the Swain and you got the Vayne. You can team fight pretty hard. They're going to go straight to Baron, which I think is the right call.
That's exactly what they should do right now. You know, you get an advantage somewhere, push that advantage somewhere else, get something else for your troubles.
Yep.
And they know that Bronze 5 Age can't contest this. So even if they were all at half health, you still go for this. It's still almost free.
The only thing you can go for is a Jinx rocket. Jinx just spawned. She could shoot it. She is firing it.
Ooh, close on the timing.
Just barely misses it. Swain winds up using his teleport into bot lane to try and take that tower.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team is going to back.
So yeah, it looked like Bronze 5 Age was going to get that dragon. It looked like Bronze 5 Age was going to be okay, but just a really good call and a really good effort by everybody on Renegatus to get to that dragon pit as quickly as possible and turn it around.
Yeah, I think they just they abused their gold lead there. They didn't have a very good setup or positioning, but because they had a such a huge gold advantage, they just able to outstat their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, this is a oh my god, this is a 9,000 gold lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts in their favor right now.
Yeah, so right now all you gotta do is just protect the Vayne. They wind up catching the Alistar, but he's very tanky. Forced to burn his ultimate. Jarvan lands his Cataclysm on 3. Swain is going in. The Vayne is still free firing. Should be an ace, or at least 4 kills going down. Alistar is still alive, as well as the Mundo, but Vayne is target firing them as well. Should be a triple kill potentially for the Vayne. Winds up going under tower.
Oh my god.
And that is a quadra kill for the Vayne. That's an ace for Renegatus. I don't know if death timers are long enough for them to finish out the game, but this should at least be mid inhibitor going down.
Oh yeah, this is mid inhibitor down for sure. They can't end off of this. Not with Jinx coming up. Her wave clear is gonna be fine for them defending Nexus, but
they could dive. Nico still has pop.
That's true. They could dive. You're right. They could. I didn't notice the Nico's pop.
Do they risk it? Do they risk it? Looks like they're gonna go for it.
You know what? I appreciate and respect this.
Alistar is up. Karma is now up as well. Jarvan goes in. He winds up landing it. Jinx goes down. That's going to be the Nexus focus fired.
Wow.
And Team Renegatus evens up the series 1-1.
Wow, that was actually crazy.
I'm so impressed with them right now. They made exactly the right adjustments they needed to. They identified that Bronze 5H was most likely to go towards a tank-heavy composition with at least one carry to protect. They wind up drafting the Vayne, which is fantastic. The Jarvan played much more aggressive in the early game, got his lanes ahead. Overall, great adjustments by Team Renegatus to take us to a Game 3.
I know. I'm so pleased with this. I mean, Bronze 5H, not that their team comp was bad by any means, because they clearly had a goal in mind. They clearly knew what they wanted to do with the team comp. But Renegatus just outplays them in top lane, in bot lane, in mid lane, just outplays every single lane basically, and just gets all of these little advantages, and they were able to pile them up and keep pushing them forward to take this victory. And I mean, just looking at the damage charts here, if we take a peek at that real quick, you know, Orianna, for doing the most damage in the game by far, it's just not enough. I mean, Jinx having only 8,000 damage, Jinx should never have that little damage in a game. You know, Renegatus did such a good job of shutting her down early and keeping her shut down throughout the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, and I definitely have to credit Swain, Leona, Jarvan, and Nico. They were singular focused on getting to that Jinx. Jarvan multiple times was landing EQ combos. They were flashing on the Jinx. They were doing everything in their power to shut her down, so that way they had the Vayne basically able to free fire, and there was no DPS on the side of Bronze 5H that could answer that Vayne.
Yeah, in all honesty, going into game 3, you know, like exactly what I wanted out of the series, to have a 3-game series. If I'm Bronze 5H, I am banning Vayne right away. I am not letting that happen again. There's no way you let that happen again.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. So let's see what they're gonna do. But let's take a quick break first. And we'll be back very shortly for the third and final game to determine who goes on to the finals for the Noxian division.
Play that Silver Scrapes. All right, everyone, we are back for game three, the final game of this series. Both teams tied it up 1-1. Bronze 5H took game one in pretty commanding fashion, but then Renegatus just turned things around and took game two in just as commanding of a fashion. So, just like I was hoping for, these teams seem to be evenly matched here. And I'm just so excited to see what they pull out of their pockets for game three. Because at this point, if you're risking not being in the finals, even if you wanted to save something for game three and not reveal it too soon, you almost got to reveal it at this point just to stay in it.
Yeah, so I think that what these teams have shown is Renegatus can't allow Tristan through, and Bronze 5H can't allow Vayne through. So I definitely think that those champions are going to be banned. And I definitely think that Renegatus is most likely going to keep their same bans. They're going to go with Sivir, Caitlyn, Tristana. I expect Bronze 5H to go for Rumble, Kale, and the Vayne as their three bans. And we've seen Leona first pick in both of their games. So it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be first picked again in game three.
Yeah, it would almost be interesting to see if Bronze 5H has first pick, right? So it would be pretty interesting to see them do something else for their first pick besides Leona. And then it would be interesting to see if Renegatus, having the Soraka on the board, if she's not banned this time around, if they want to go with Soraka and bring her out.
Yep. All right, let's see if we can get into the draft.
Yeah, we should be getting this draft going here any second now.
Yeah, I think that with the Soraka dropped, it'd be interesting to see if they go for that. But if Leona is picked up, Leona is pretty dangerous if you're playing Soraka.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me personally, I will always prefer a Nautilus support over a Leona support. I just feel like Nautilus is just a better version of Leona, but Leona is still a super super good pick for support right now, especially for engaging in a team fight.
Yeah, I think the main advantage of Leona is he can basically engage through a minion wave with her
Yes.
E and also her ultimate. Nautilus can't do that with his Q. So I think that's the only advantage that Leona has over the Nautilus. Leona is also really, really tanky with her W. Nautilus does have some tankiness with his W, but I think that Leona's tankiness is a bit. She gets like the resistances rather than just a straight up shield.
Yeah. I honestly would really love to see um I would honestly love to see Renegatus stick with what they did this second game. Pick an aggressive team comp, go for something, pick champions that encourage your laners to take control of the game for themselves so that it gives the jungler an easier time of knowing where they can help push those advantages in each one of those lanes. I don't want to see them go back to what they played in game one where they were hoping for the game to be calm and steady and not have to be that way, because they really showed that they themselves play better when they can play aggressively.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really interesting because Renegatus was able to really pick up the tempo with the Jarvan pick in the second game. Bronze 5H has picked scaling junglers in both of their games. I'm wondering if they're going to go more towards a ganking jungler in this game three, or if they're going to stick with scaling junglers. I mean, Oniokin plays a lot of the Vi. He plays Warwick. There's plenty of champions that are early game ganking junglers that he could play. So it's just a question of whether he wants to go towards that or whether he wants to stay on a farming jungler, basically.
Yeah, I would love to see him play Vi or some other champion like that, because going with the scaling jungler like Dr. Mundo, it didn't really work for them that last game. Mundo never really got that good of a gank off. He was never really ever in a position where it looked like he was confident in the gank that he was trying to attempt. Whereas in game one, at least, being on the Shyvana, he could always make a play for coming up, flying in with the ultimate over some kind of physical barrier like a mountain or something, like a ridge in the map or something, to like try to surprise them with a gank. But Mundo, you just never have any ability to surprise someone with a gank. They'll always see it coming if it's warded. And even if it's not warded, he doesn't exactly have the fastest movement speed in the world, so you can escape whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah, Mundo can be a great jungler, but he needs to have lanes that can set him up. Like he's great if the lanes already have crowd control, but a lot of this there wasn't a lot of CC in the lanes on Bronze 5 Age that allowed the Mundo to basically be effective in his ganks. I think that's why he wasn't very effective. And we see that they've dropped the Rumble ban. They're banning out the Kale and the Soraka, and I'm assuming the third ban is going to be the Vayne. So that the
No,
Leona instead. So Vayne is up. So they might be looking to first pick the Vayne, maybe.
I don't know. I would feel really weird if that was their first
I
pick because
I think they might first pick the Vayne. Um, if they leave it up, that's yep, they're gonna first pick the
wow.
Vayne.
All
Okay,
right.
all
All
right. So
right.
the challenge has been made. First pick Vayne, blind pick, and there's no really strong counters that are available right now. The Caitlyn, it's like the most obvious one, but that one was banned out.
Yes.
So really good job by Bronze 5 Age to realize that there may not be very good counters on the side of Renegatus to this Vayne.
But now you can't pick a lot of tanks if you're Renegatus, because Vayne's just going to shred right through them. So the
Mm-hmm.
Nautilus is a good pick for support because you don't have to build him super tanky. He's still going to do his job if he's not. And then following that up, since the Rumble is not banned, I would love for Renegatus to pick Rumble and just show us why the Rumble has been banned and why Bronze 5 Age doesn't want to face it.
Yeah, I think that Rumble as a third pick would be actually fantastic because that way you can go into the ban phase and ban out two top laners that you don't want to face as the Rumble. But they wind up locking in the Kai'Sa Nautilus. So this is a standard, like we've seen
Yep.
this many, many times at Worlds. This is a very, very strong bot lane. And with the Leona banned out, it's going to be interesting to see what Bronze 5 Age goes to. I'm expecting probably the Alistar since he was just so phenomenal on that pick.
Yep, you called it. They lock in the Alistar. That's definitely what they want to go with. It's tried and true. It's a very big comfort pick for Psycho Pez. They know how to play around that champion.
And
And
it
then they
looks
follow it
like
up with Jarvan.
they're gonna steal away the Jarvan. So Jarvan was picked up by Renegatus in both of their first two games. They steal the Jarvan away. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how Renegatus responds. I think the Rumble is the right call, unless you're worried about your jungler getting banned out, which it looks like they are. So they're going towards the Olaf, which is another early game jungler. So Olaf versus Jarvan.
Man.
It's gonna be yeah, there's going to be some fireworks in the early game. Both these junglers are not very good in the late game. I think Olaf actually falls off a cliff even harder than Jarvan does.
He
So
might.
Olaf has got to make something happen early in this game.
So here's my question though. Could that potentially be an Olaf top lane? Because if depending on how Bronze 5 Age looks at that, they could choose to ban jungle picks or top lane picks here. And I don't know if Olaf, like based on the games that they have played this season, I don't know where Renegatus wants to put Olaf. I don't know if they would rather him be in top lane or jungle.
Dako has played Olaf more than most of other champions. His most played are Mundo and Olaf. So the fact that they're banning the Mundo makes me think that the Olaf is most likely going towards the jungle. Like, oh, they're leaving the. Well, maybe they're going to ban the Rumble with the last ban. We'll
Yeah.
see. That I would assume that would be the last ban.
Yeah, that was such a priority ban for them 2 games. Yeah, okay, they do ban the Rumble. I was gonna say if they let it go through, then I'll be very surprised why they banned it so hard in the first 2 games. But
So the question is Renegatus going to blind pick their top laner or their mid laner? I think they say mid for last. I think that's probably the better call. But the question is, who do they feel comfortable putting in this top lane as a blind pick?
I mean, as a blind pick, I almost would rather see mid blind pick because there are pretty safe mid laners you can pick going blind and you're okay. Malzahar being a great example of a good blind pick mid laner where there aren't a lot of ways to really counter him hard, but they go with the Mordekaiser.
They go with the Mordekaiser, so yeah, they're definitely throwing down the challenge. Juggernaut in top lane, Juggernaut in the jungle. This is going to actually play pretty well into the Vayne tool shed right now. So I think the Bronze 5 Age definitely has the advantage right now in the draft. Ooh, and the Xerath being hovered. This is a really interesting pickup because the Xerath is not very good against tanks, but I guess you got the Vayne to deal with the tanks, you got the Xerath to deal with the squishies.
Yeah, and I mean that's clearly a mid lane Xerath. There's nowhere else they're gonna put him.
Mm-hmm.
So the onus is really on Renegatus at this point to counter that with something. And I don't really know what they're going to have in their toolbox to counter Xerath with. But then Brown's 5 Age locks in the Malphite for their final pick, which it surprises me at the very least.
Yeah. So Malphite, this is a very interesting pickup because Olaf obviously can avoid the Malphite ultimate. Um, and yeah, even if the Malphite is able to get onto the backline, is able to get onto the Kaiser or the Ari, um, the Kaiser can always reposition. She's very safe, and the Ari can also reposition. So I'm very curious about this Malphite lock-in. It seems like they may be using it more for counter engage rather than straight up engage, but maybe not. Maybe they just want to go straight forward and just try to dive them.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to properly combo Malphite's ultimate, Alistar's headbutt pulverize, then Jarvan's cataclysm, they can just keep at least one person so CC that they can't do anything except die.
Mm-hmm.
And if they happen to catch multiple people with those, then yeah, they're gonna have really good team fights. But all three of those ultimates together are going to require some communication. Who's gonna go first? If the headbutt pulverize isn't done properly, where only the headbutt goes through, then it ruins the entire combo. And then I do really like this last pick by Renegatus. I like Ari in the mid lane. She has the movement speed, especially when she throws her ball out with her Q
Uh-huh.
to move around and avoid all of poke. I like that. That's a very intelligent pick by Renegatus. Now, that does require a certain degree of mechanical ability to properly do that and properly, predict and tell when Xerath is going to use all that poke on you.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Ari is going to go for the Glacial Augment build because that's what we've been seeing. If we see Ari picked up, at least like the professional level, she usually goes towards a Glacial Augment build, which could be pretty useful because you've got quite a few champions who like to run people down. So
That is true. And on the flip side of that, if you don't go Glacial Augment with Ari, then I think you go Electrocute because if you hit a charm with her, it's really Electrocute proc. And against Xerath having not a lot of mobility in his kit, maybe they would rather go for the Electrocute instead of the Glacial. But I think for team fights, Glacial is going to be better overall.
yeah, you give up a little bit of lane power, but I think it will give you a better mid game and late game.
All right, so we get the client going here. Everybody's going to be locking champs. If they want to switch something up last minute and show like, hey, no, just kidding. Like Mordekaiser's going mid, but like I don't think that's going to happen.
So one thing that Renegatus does have is that they do have the Mordekaiser, and the Mordekaiser can split push. Malphite is obviously a better team fighter, but I don't think anybody will be able to answer the Mordekaiser in a lane. So that could be a potential win condition for them.
Yeah, no, that definitely could be what ends up giving them this win. But at the same time, Bronze 5Age has one hell of a wombo combo team fight. So if they recognize the Mordekaiser split push and they decide to group up, 4v4 in another lane to push that lane out, I think BVA, I think they have the advantage in that 4v4. Regardless of which one of them goes off to take care of Mordekaiser, I think they can still handle that 4v4 fight pretty well. Now, if this goes in a late game where Kaisa, is able to build herself up and scale to where she needs to be, then I think Renegatus can still handle them 4v4. But early game, I give the edge to Bronze 5Age.
I'm sorry, I gotta comment. So the reason why we're not into things yet is so first up, the top laner of the side of Renegatus didn't have Mordekaiser, so he had to go buy Mordekaiser. And then inadvertently, Bronze 5 Age banned the Alistar rather than picking it. So we're resetting for their third lobby, and we'll get into the game as soon as we can. But yeah, it looks like both teams are still in pretty high spirits, but a couple mistakes coming out on both sides.
Client's too hard to figure out. They're trying to put the square into the circle hole.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Okay, so take 3.
All right, yeah, take 3. Here we go.
So obviously, Bronze 5 Age does have the poke advantage with the Xerath, and they do have the team fighting advantage with the Malphite, Jarvan, Alistar, Vayne, that type of stuff. Catch advantage probably goes to Renegatus because they've got the Ari, who's great with the charm. Olaf is great at running people down. Kaiser can reposition with her ultimate. They do have the split push advantage. So it's just a question of whether the poke and the team fighting is more powerful or whether it's going to be the catch potential and the split push potential.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily a fan of Xerath being played in the mid lane. Sure, he's got range and he has poke, and you know, along with that comes a lot of damage. But I think his mobility is just a major problem.
He will get run down very hard by the Olaf.
Yeah. So I think Renegatus, you know, they picked the Olaf, but then Bronze 5H picked Xerath going into Olaf, knowing that Olaf would be able to run him down once, you know, he hits 6 and he gets his ultimate. So I think that's a weird decision on Bronze 5H's part to pick Xerath into that. But at the same time, it's not Xerath's lane opponent, so it's only going to become a danger once Olaf decides to do a gank. So maybe that was their thought process. I don't know.
So for a second there, the top laner for Bronze 5H was hovering the Vayne, hinting that he was going to put the Vayne into the Mordekaiser, but winds up in the Malphite. So we got more memes going on.
Yep. I like the playfulness. I like that both teams are like.
Now the jungler's hovering the Vayne. We'll have the Vayne jungle now.
Everybody hover Vayne. They'll never know where Vayne's gonna go.
They'll never know. They'll never know where it's gonna go.
There you go. Lock in the Jarvan. It's not like we've been waiting for you guys to client 5 minutes. You're just gonna keep making us wait by not locking in your champs right away anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Vayne mid. Now semi-Vayne mid.
Yeah. Nope. They're just gonna keep making us wait. We've waited long enough. What's another minute of this, right?
Wait a second. He locked it in.
What?
Is Prophet going bot lane and Cephasis is going mid?
Oh man, what if that's what they're doing here? That's really interesting. Or what if they are legit gonna play Vayne mid lane because Vayne can dodge Ari's charm?
Maybe. Big brain plays right now.
Yeah, big brain plays, right? Like what if that's what they're doing here?
We've already seen that Prophet can play marksman. He was very, very strong on the Tristana.
I mean, if this is something that they're pulling out for this game, having Vayne play Prophet, like I'm gonna be so excited for this game. I'm not gonna be able to contain myself waiting for the actual action to kick off. You know, laning phase. I'm just gonna be praying for a fight every second of laning phase.
That said, if Prophet was going towards mid lane Vayne, I would expect him to take the cleanse as opposed to heal against the Ari. Right now he's hovering the heal, which would lead me to believe that it would be going bot lane.
Yeah, but even if he would play Xerath mid, you know, he wouldn't take heal either, right? Oh, he just switched over to cleanse. There we go.
He just switched over to cleanse.
All right. So either he was listening to us say that, or he realized that he hadn't selected it.
Yeah. And we've got the barrier coming out of the Xerath, which is what I would expect if the Xerath is going bot lane. Oh my goodness. This is spicy right now.
I'm really excited for this mid lane. I'm so excited. Oh my god. This is not what I was expecting at all.
And not only that, but Kaiser thought she would have a free lane with the Vayne, because Kaiser and Vayne both have pretty weak early games. But now that the Xerath is down there, oh my goodness, that's such a harder lane for Kaiser because she basically has a huge range disadvantage. So Xerath is going to be able to punish her severely, and the Alistar should be able to negate any type of engage from the Nautilus. So with this switch up, they've actually negated the mid lane is pretty even, I would say, and now they've got a massive advantage in bot lane.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. You know, pairing Xerath up with a support like Alistar basically negates his weaknesses in.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is okay. This is either Bronze 5 Age being super smart with their picks, or it's them being too smart for their own good, and this is going to bite them in the butt by the end of the match.
Yeah. Yeah, they've either outsmarted their opponent or they've outsmarted themselves. We'll have to see what happens.
And we all know that with Bronze 5 age, sometimes they don't know what they're doing, which means that their opponents also have no clue what they're doing either.
Yeah, it's hard to counter when you don't have a plan.
Oh man, no, I just want to keep lane, but we're gonna exhaust that topic in the next 3 minutes before we get to the game. You know, if we do that. So let's talk about some of the other lanes. We got Bronze 5 age taking Jarvan instead of letting Renegatus have Jarvan. Jarvan versus Olaf in the jungle. Both of them have the ability to be very proactive when it comes to ganks. Both of them can just gank as soon as they hit level 2 if they want.
Yep.
And so, they both of those junglers have to make those decisions as the game goes on. How aggressive do I want to be for ganks? How much do I want to farm? It'll be very interesting what both of these junglers' philosophies are on that. Yeah. And then up in top lane, Malphite versus Mordekaiser. How do you see that going?
Mordekaiser should have the advantage over the Malphite. Malphite just needs to survive, basically. And depending on how he builds, he might be able to challenge the Mordekaiser a little bit, but Mordekaiser should be able to outduel the Malphite. I'm more interested in the jungle matchup because while Olaf can gank level 2, traditionally he likes to go for that power clear to get level 4 first, and then he starts ganking like non-stop once he hits level 4. So Jarvan does have a slight window where he can get one gank, maybe two ganks off before the Olaf hits that level 4. But then the Olaf is going to be in the driver's seat until Jarvan can catch up and experience around like level 6.
So if the two meet up for getting a rift scuttle in the river, how do you like? If you're Jarvan or Olaf, do you just let the other one take that? Do you not risk that engage?
Olaf kills everyone. Olaf's like passive is one of the most powerful passives at the early levels. He gains so much attack speed when he's low health. It's near impossible to outduel an Olaf in the early game. So if I'm Jarvan, I'm staying away from the scuttles if Olaf is there.
All right. Well, we'll see if any fights actually break out around the scuttles or anything like that, or maybe Olaf will want to do some fighting once he hits level 4. Who knows? Meanwhile, Kai'Sa, she is in a little bit of trouble down in bot lane now. She can definitely take a lot of poke damage from Xerath. If I am Bronze 5 age for the bot lane matchup, I'm not going to try to ever kill Kai'Sa in lane. Just poke her enough to the point where she has to stay really far back or recall. So, I wouldn't try to build a lead up in bot lane by getting kills. I would try to build a lead up in bot lane just by getting a huge CS lead by the time, 15 minutes rolls.
Yeah.
So rather than having Jarvan, try to focus all 3 lanes for the team, just have Jarvan focus between top and mid lane for ganks and just keep poking Kai'Sa in bot lane and don't ever try to fight down there so that Jarvan has an easier time making his own decisions.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Xerath can zone the Kai'Sa off of a lot of golden experience. If he plays it correctly, and that the Jarvan definitely wants to play around mid lane. If he can get the Vayne an early kill, then she might be able to snowball this game out of control.
That's true. The balls on Bronze 5A to take Vayne mid. Oh god, I'm so excited. But it looks like no, they're actually doing Cephas is going mid and Prophet's going bot with Vayne. No, I was so hyped for this. Don't take my hype away.
So they are stacking up on top side. Olaf does have a pretty strong level 1.
30 seconds until minions. Oh man, all my hype is going away now for this mid.
And it looks like they did take a so Prophet initially was going cleanse, but he switched out to the heal. So it is going to be a standard heal flash bot lane, and then Xerath in mid lane with the barrier. I'm actually surprised that Xerath went for the barrier as opposed to the cleanse. Because if Ahri hits her, like the way that Ahri kills people is she hits her charm.
Exactly.
If you have a way to get rid of her ability to CC you, then it takes away all of her kill pressure. Like having the cleanse takes away her kill pressure more than having the barrier does, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you have cleanse, the second you hit charm, you hit cleanse so that you don't take all the damage from her Q from her W if she has her ultimate from her ultimate as well.
Mm.
The barrier is going to negate some of that damage, but you're still going to take more than you would otherwise if you had the cleanse.
Yep. So Olaf is not getting a leash, so they're going to hide where the Olaf is.
I like that. That's smart.
And that does give the Kai'Sa the early push, but Jarvan's coming down for a potential level 2 gank in bot lane.
Ooh, surprise level 2. I like it. Very spicy. Yeah, he's positioning in that bush. He wants to do something.
They go forward. They wind up landing the EQ. Forces out the flash from the Nautilus. Ends up getting the ignite as well. So that's flash and heal for the Kai'Sa, flash for the Nautilus, and it's the flash and the ignite burn on the side of Bronze 5H. So that's 3 summoners for 2, but it does give away the Jarvan's early pathing. Olaf could invade this top side if he wanted to.
Yeah, he knows that top side is clear, whether he goes for, blue buff, steal, or he could even go for a top lane gank at this point if he really felt like it.
Yeah, and he should have the advantage in top lane with the Mordekaiser, so it could be a pretty good invade if he decides to go for it. And he does have priority in mid lane as well, so...
Yeah, and I wouldn't even chalk that up to a misplay by Bronze 5H not getting more than flash out of the Nautilus or anything like that. It was going to be questionable if a kill was possible to begin with anyway.
Mm-hmm. So far, Xerath is doing very well in this mid lane. He's able to get quite a lot of poke damage down onto this Ahri.
Yeah, I think really the main thing that Jarvan ganking bot accomplished for Bronze 5H was just keeping Renegatus' bot lane cognizant that could happen, because we're looking at the CS numbers here and things are even between Vayne and Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's not getting this early CS advantage like we were expecting out of her.
Olaf is thinking about going in, but he doesn't have priority in mid lane or bot lane, so Jarvan should be able to secure this Scuttle Crab in bot side. So yeah, actually some really good pathing by the Jarvan. So Olaf normally would be able to contest, but because mid lane and bot lane had priority, he wasn't able to.
Yeah, Renegatus is just not trying to go for any kind of engage down bot. I think that they should think about it, but they've had a couple of opportunities to go for an engage with Nautilus hooking Alistar or Nautilus hooking Vayne, and they just haven't tried.
Mm-hmm. Olaf coming in, trying to land an axe, winds up missing. Gonna leash a little bit of experience and then go back to his jungle.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of aggression out of both sides, but both sides are also, it's game 3. You're going to be conscious that one major mistake could cost you the game at this point. So I think both teams are just very conscious that that's the position that they're in and that they don't want to be the reason why a big mistake happens.
So one thing that I will criticize Olaf for a little bit is that he saw the Jarvan. He should have been able to count the CS, and he should have known that Jarvan's topside camps were up, and he could have gone for an invade. But he winds up not punishing that. So the pathing that the Jarvan took was clever, but it relied on your jungle or your opponent jungler not counting your CS and tracking which camps were still up. So Jarvan's coming in for another gank, and his topside camps are still up. He hasn't gone topside at all.
And Mordekaiser just keeps bullying Malphite up in top lane. He's going to continue to get this health advantage over him. Now the CS is still being pretty even, and that's good on Malphite's part, but it's not going to stay that way for long.
Yep. Yes, Olaf is bot lane, but he is going to walk over some boards. There shouldn't be much that they can gain from this gank. Jarvan is bot lane as well, so they potentially could go for a 3v3.
That would be pretty interesting if they decided to go for it. But it seems like they're both going to back off here.
Mm-hmm. They do need to start punishing the flashes being down. Looks like Jarvan is here to try and punish that. The flashes aren't going to be up for like another minute or so.
But he has to decide to pull the trigger pretty soon here, because that wave is not going to stay there forever.
Yep.
And he's just wasting time.
He's standing by, potentially going for it. There's an ultimate for the Mordekaiser. He's looking to try and get the kill. Ooh! Winds up getting the first blood. Jarvan goes in, winds up landing on the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa doesn't have her flash still. Nautilus is most likely going to go down, but Jarvan may go down too. Forces the heal out of the Vayne. Kind of a very split fight on the bot side of the map, but Mordekaiser winds up getting the first blood.
Yeah. So now it's a little more understandable why Jarvan was waiting trigger on that, because they were waiting for Xerath to get in a good position to move down so that his ultimate was in range to help them out for that fight and help them get a kill. It just didn't pan out in the end.
Oh yes, finally Olaf is invading. There we go. Better late than never. So he should be able to start punishing this Jarvan for basically camping the bot side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, he's got such a nice lead so far, Olaf does, between all the CS numbers here. And Jarvan, you know, for all the attempts he's made to get an assist or a kill bot lane, it hasn't worked. So, you know, him being behind is really his own doing.
Yep. Yeah, and Olaf doesn't stay around. I believe he does give the handoff to the Ahri for the blue buff. So yeah, they know that the Ahri's got the blue buff, so they know the blue buff is stolen. Olaf is ganking top lane. This might be a dead Malphite. He doesn't have flash. Winds up using the ultimate to try and get away. But that takes away a lot of Malphite's agency now. He doesn't have teleport, doesn't have flash, doesn't have ultimate. So that could set up the Mordekaiser for another kill once his ultimate comes off cooldown.
Yeah, and meanwhile down in bot lane, you know, there was a really good headbutt pulverize combo by the Alistar, but it still didn't wind up getting a kill for, you know, getting a kill for Bronze 5H because Nautilus was just able to shield up with his W and stay safe. A lot of little skirmishes going around that, you know, could have resulted in a kill.
Oh, Ahri's going all in, misses her charm. Has him down to about 20% health. I don't think she's going to be able to finish this.
I'm almost disappointed Ahri did not take Ignite, because if she had Ignite, she would have so much more kill pressure on the Xerath, and he'd have to play so much more safe.
Yep. Ooh, winds up getting the flash charm. Oh, Jarvan comes in. Teleport is coming down. Olaf flashes forward.
Oh my god.
Oh, Xerath ultimate is down. Winds up missing all three of them. Very ambitious by the Ahri to go for the flash charm, but she winds up landing it. Forces the flash barrier out from the Xerath. This does give Malphite a little bit of alone time in top lane. But, oh, there's the Shadow Realm has been summoned. Malphite is not going to get away from this. Yep, he's just
this is another kill.
Yep. So this Mordekaiser split push is definitely a huge potential. He's now 2-0, and he does have 150 gold bounty on his head.
Yeah, it's almost questionable why Malphite would be playing that aggressively in that lane, knowing that Malphite has such a huge advantage in a one-on-one fight, you know.
Well, what happened was that the Mordekaiser TP'd mid, so he thought that he had enough time, but he just didn't track how long it would take the Mordekaiser to get back to top lane, and he might have underestimated that because the Mordekaiser does have boots too. He rushed a really fast Mercury treads.
Oh, this could be a dead Xerath.
Ooh, lands the charm.
Yep, dead Xerath.
Dead Xerath. So another
and by the
solo
way,
kill going down.
You got a fight down in bot lane too, breaking out here. Kai'Sa
Vayne's
going in with her ultimate.
Kai'Sa goes in, flashes out. Great play by the Kai'Sa. Well done.
Man,
that's another
Renegatus
flash out by the Alistar. Winds up having to flash out as well. Wow.
Renegatus just not letting up. They want to take the momentum from game 2 and continue it in. Really impressive here.
And things are going really well for them because they've already gotten top lane and mid lane. So that makes it very easy to basically camp bot lane, and they'll have 3 winning lanes.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you know, I should have pointed
Ahri's
this out.
flanking. There might be another team fight going down. Ahri does have her ultimate. If she lands the charms, this could be a kill. Lands the charm on the Vayne, going down. That's going to be 2 more kills. Oh. Yep. So it's 1 kill traded back. Let's see if the Jarvan can get any more done. Oh, just barely misses the charm. But that's 6 kills to 1 in favor of Team Renegatus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really oppressive right now. Really good, just decisive, aggressive play calling coming out from them this game. And Ari, she did go with Electrocute for her Keystone. She did not go for the Glacial build that we've seen so often at Worlds and in Pro
yep,
Play.
yep. I really like how the Ari, as soon as she got the kill, she transferred her lead into the bot lane by roaming down there and getting the kills in bot lane. Now she's 3-0, and the Xerath is not going to be able to contest her.
No, not really. I mean, he can use his abilities to poke, yes, all, but Ari just has so much of an advantage in lane, and then she has an advantage to help the rest of her team out too.
Yeah, and it puts the Jarvan in a really difficult spot because the Jarvan can't gank top lane because the Mordekaiser will just send him to the Death Realm and then kill him. He can't gank mid lane whenever Ari's ultimate is up, so that only leaves him as bot lane with a potential gank opportunity. But the Kai'Sa is ahead of the Vayne, and it's very telegraphed.
Yeah, is at this point, if you're Bronze 5 age, you just hope that there's no more team fights. You want to just you gotta stall it out at this point. You gotta let it go until Vayne gets to late game and has a lot more kill potential.
Yep,
But
Alistar winds up taking a tower shot, has to burn his ultimate.
Ari actually invading the Bronze 5 age jungle here. Maybe gonna go for a blue buff or something. Nope, she
Nope. They're gonna go back towards the Rift Herald. Olaf is on the Rift Herald right now, but Ari looks like she wants to catch the wave instead. That's probably a good call. But they have no idea that this Rift Herald is going down, and Olaf can very easily solo it. It's gonna be interesting to see if they give it to the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, he's going to help out with it, but I don't think he needed to, really.
Well, he did have the lane pushed in, and it looks like he is going to take it. So the top laner takes the Rift Herald again. He could still drop it. He's got a minute until tower plates are down. So if he drops it immediately, he can go for it. But Malphite could stop it with the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, at this point...
Ooh, Ari going all in, lands the charm, lands her full combo, barriers popped by the Xerath. And that is the... oh, we got a TP coming down in bot lane. Malphite just... ult in, landed on the Kai'Sa. Great play by Bronze 5 age. Wow. Very well done. They knew that they couldn't do anything in top lane, so they just abandoned top lane. That tower's going down anyway. They make the bot lane play. They get 2 kills, and they might be able to equalize this tower.
Now, Shelly's not going to get that second tower. Even with Mordekaiser...
Oh, Mordekaiser's going all in. Has got the Xerath in the Death Realm. He looks like he will be able to kill him.
All right, I take it back. Never mind. I was not expecting them to actually tower dive that.
Yep. Oh, and they're not able to get the tower. Oh, this is disastrous for Bronze 5 age. It's 2 towers to 0 now. They don't have enough time to get the bot outer tower, and this inhibitor tower may go down as well. So if I'm yeah, Renegatus definitely got the advantage on this one. That's a 3rd tower going down. Oh, and the Vayne overstayed. Nautilus winds up getting the hook.
Ooh.
But it looks like she will get out.
Yeah, Kai'Sa didn't really have a way to join that fight there once it was initiated. She didn't have her ultimate up, so she had no way to position herself closer to Vayne.
Yeah, but that's now a 5,000 gold lead, and the blue side jungle for Bronze 5 age no longer belongs. They can't go near it.
Yep, and that's a 5,000 gold lead at 15 minutes.
Jarvan is coming down. He might be looking for a play. Lands the knock-up on the Kai'Sa. Nautilus takes the tower aggro. Let's see if the Vayne is able to chase. It's a 2 versus 2. Ooh, wow. Kai'Sa's turning this around.
I mean, with no Jarvan ultimate, yeah, it's just really hard for them to get anything out of that fight.
Kai'Sa ultimate is almost off a cooldown. She may go for another play.
Ooh, teleport
TP coming down
too.
from Mordekaiser, saving that minion. That's a little ambitious, but I think they're just going to try and force and try and push to get this spot tower. Xerath is rotating down, but I don't think he can stop this. Vayne is backed as well.
Oof. I mean, that Q poke does give them incentive to stop pushing, though, so good job, Xerath.
Yeah, I guess he was able to dissuade them from continuing the push. Ooh, winds up landing it onto the Alistar. He has to flash out. And it looks like they're setting up for this Drake right now. I don't think the Bronze 5 age can contest.
Not really. I mean, Xerath poke with the Q is about the only way you're going to steal that dragon.
Kai'Sa still is in base. Vayne is on the map. So that is a possibility. Oh, they do wind up landing it onto the Psychopez. He's running away as fast as he can. Ari uses her ultimate, winds up coming over, lands the charm on the Xerath. There might be two people going down. Oh, Malphite goes in. 3-man Malphite ultimate. Mordekaiser's forced to flash, and Xerath escapes with the skin of his teeth.
Through the power of friendship and teamwork, nobody dies. And
yeah, but they are really chunked out now. Oh, Alistar goes in. Mordekaiser is still there. I think Alistar is going to go down. That's the ultimate. Vayne is on the backside. Oh, we have multiple fights. Kai'Sa gets a double kill. Vayne is trying to do her best, but she might be going... Oh, she just barely lives, goes down. Jarvan is fighting the Nautilus. I think Jarvan will wind up winning this. Oh, but Ari's there and winds up cleaning up. And that's an ace on the side of Team Renegatus. So, yeah. Ari's huge. Kai'Sa's huge. Mordekaiser's huge. They got the gold in all the right places. They'll be pushing down another tower. That's going to wind up being 5 towers to 0 once this tower drops. Or 5 towers to 1, rather.
The lead is a little overwhelming at this point. Bronze 5 Age is trying to make up the goal difference by, picking fights that they believe they can win, and it's just not panning out for them. Mainly because, you try to fight Ari. She's got so much burst damage at this point with just the Luden's Echo plus having Electrocute as your keystone. You're not going to be able to do more damage to Ari than Ari can do to you. And then you try engaging on the Mordekaiser. That's a bad idea because he's just going to pull one single person into the Shadow Realm, and it's a 1v1 that Mordekaiser can win against anybody. You cannot focus any one single person on Renegatus down because they're just too strong.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely think that the advantage that Bronze 5 Age is that they have to slow things down. They have to give the Xerath time to work and try and poke people down before they try and go for these all-ins.
And having this top lane tower down, there's an open inhibitor. It's something they're always going to have to focus on because if Mordekaiser does split push and constantly keeps pressure on that top lane inhibitor, the rest of the team is just able to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree completely. It looks like both teams are posturing around this air Drake. Xerath is not there. Malphite goes in. Ari ultimates away. Ari's now going forward. Kai'Sa goes forward. They're targeting at the Jarvan. They wind up getting the pick onto the Jarvan. They get the Malphite as well. And that was a 4v5, but Malphite still went in. So that's going to wind up being the air Drake going over. I think the only way they can steal this is potentially with the Xerath. But nope.
Yeah, oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, if you're that far behind, you definitely can't go for any 4v5 fights.
But then, just Kai'Sa and Ari both using their ultimates, just being able to close the gap to get one pick, and then they snowball that into another pick because Bronze 5 Age wants to stay there to try to save, not really save Jarvan, but since 2 members of Renegatus were focusing on Jarvan, they thought they could take, a 4v3 fight with everybody else, and it just wasn't the case.
Yep. So that's another tower going down, 6 towers to 1. Gold lead is now almost 8,000 rather.
Yeah, it's snowballing out of Bronze 5 Age's control at this point of the game. 20 minutes in and there's that much of a gold lead. You have to stall this game out by any means necessary. And unless you're trading 1 kill for 1 kill, no trade is a good trade for you anymore.
Yep. Yeah, at this point, you may even have to give up the Baron and maybe even give up an inhib. As long as you don't lose all 3 inhibs, you can stall out and you can potentially use those pushing lanes to try and catch up in CS and golden experience. But the problem is that your jungle doesn't belong to you anymore. So I actually like the fact that they're trying to clear out this jungle as much as they can while the red side team is just setting up for the Baron.
Yeah, they're doing their best here. They're getting as much of that experience as they possibly can in the jungle, or they have to be afraid. I like that, as you said, but Renegatus has all the time in the world here to set up for Baron. It's all under their control.
Yeah, and the problem is that the Ari is so far ahead that they can actually go into a 1-3-1, and she's got teleport. So the disadvantage of going teleport over ignite is you have a weaker laning phase. But if you get far ahead in the laning phase, even with the teleport, now you become this split push monster, and they can basically do a 1-3-1, which means they're going to be effectively farming all 3 lanes, while Bronze 5 Age cannot.
Yeah, I really want to see Ari push bot lane a little bit more. You know, try to force Vayne into an engagement that Ari knows she could win, but she's choosing to kind of play it safe for the most part and just kind of be a distraction for the Vayne more than anything.
I think they're doing it right. They're setting it up. You can see that all 3 the exact same spot on the map, and that's how you exert equal pressure in all 3 lanes, because now they have to make a choice. Bronze 5H has to make a choice on what lane they want to prioritize, and whatever lane they choose, they're going to wind up losing something on the map. It looks like they're going to go for mid lane. They're flanking around. They're going for this Kai'Sa. Jarvan winds up getting bursted out before he's able to do anything. But the Kai'Sa does go down. That is a shutdown. This is about the best fight they could go for right now. Ooh, is the... Ooh. Oh, the last auto goes down. Vayne's able to get a couple kills. So that winds up being a 2 for 2, which is not horrible. That's going to be top lane inhibitor going down. I don't know why the Ahri's backing, though. She can keep pushing her advantage a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's essentially a free tower for her down there in bot lane if she stays, but she just chooses to leave.
Yep. So Mordekaiser gets the top inhibitor and winds up TPing out. So if I'm Bronze 5 Age, I'm actually not too unhappy with that. So top lane inhibitor going down is not horrible because you can defend that the easiest for Baron. And yeah, you get 2 more kills, you get that shutdown. Vayne's trying to scale up a little bit more.
Yeah, if we're taking just the trade from the fight 2v2, those are the trades that Bronze 5 Age wants. If you trade evenly, and it helps you out more if you're behind to trade evenly than if...
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially with the shutdowns involved, and you get the shutdown. I believe the shutdown went on to the Vayne, which is even better.
Yeah, it did go on to the Vayne.
So it'll be really interesting to see if Renegatus actually ties the Drake or the Baron. We've got a Mountain Drake coming up in 40 seconds. And that can make it a lot easier to actually take the Baron. But it looks like right now they're prioritizing the Baron over the Drake.
Yeah, I mean... if you're either team, I would say focus on Baron more. If you're Renegatus,
there's this cheeky ward that's right outside the Baron pit right now that's allowing Bronze 5 Age to know that they're not starting the Baron. So that's a really important ward. You definitely always want to try and sweep that ward out, because right now Bronze 5 Age has no reason to go anywhere near the Baron pit. They know that they're not starting the Baron because they have that ward.
Yeah, if you're Renegatus at this point, you'd take the consolation prize and go for that dragon.
Malphite's going in. Ahri should be able to get out, no problem. Yep, she just burned her ultimate. She might actually turn this around. She gets the flash and winds up 1v1ing the Malphite.
Really good engaged by Malphite, but he just doesn't have anything to follow it up with.
Yeah, Malphite's going for kind of a split build between AP and tank. He's got the Luden's Echo and the Source Shoes, and then he's got a Negatron on top of that. So he might be going toward Abyssal, I'm guessing, next. Alistar pops his ultimate immediately. He might get chased down. But he's wasting a lot of time.
That's true. Yeah.
But yep, he winds up eventually going down. Now they can definitely go back towards this Baron.
It's just a little too easy with Nautilus and Kai'Sa to chase anyone down, really. Kai'Sa has her speed boost with her E. Nautilus can hook people.
And they're able to finally spot out that ward, so now it's dark for Bronze 5 Age. I don't think there's any way they can contest. They just need to continue farming to the best of their ability and try to get back into this game any way they can. But it's now a 10,000 gold lead for Team Renegatus.
And Ahri's already bot lane to try to keep pushing that to Baron up those minions, but it looks like she's going to be in a little bit of trouble here.
Ooh, flashes the Malphite ultimate. Great prediction. She might be able to outplay this. But the Xerath is there.
Yeah. Almost gets a kill out of it, but smartly decides to back off when she sees that Xerath is there to help out.
And she does still have the TP, so she can join this push once the Kai'Sa gets out onto the field.
Just really smart map movements all around that we've seen this game by Renegatus. Earlier, they did the 1-3 push where all the lanes were pushing evenly, which is really hard for teams to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now, they're making very intelligent plays moving around the map, taking this Baron, resetting here. Maybe it looks like in mid lane while Mordekaiser splits bot lane. So they know exactly what they want out of this team comp. They've known it from minute one.
Yeah, they're doing a great job right now. It looks like they're going to go for the 1-4, which I think is probably the safer of the options. Last time Bronze 5Age was able to get a good fight. They're able to get that 2v2 in the mid lane. So it makes sense that they're going to go to a 1-4 because the Mordekaiser should be able to 1v1 anyone on the side lane, especially with his ultimate.
Yeah, and he's already up to that tower too, so they have to respond. And Olaf is in top lane though. He decided to go up there with the super minions and Baron them up.
Yeah, he's trying to Baron them up to try and speed them up so they have to respond, and that's going to allow them to get some damage down to this bot inhibitor tower. Unfortunately, the lanes are desynced, which is making it a little bit harder for Renegatus to push in for this. But it looks like they might get this mid inhib. I think they've got enough with this minion wave.
I mean, all you need is that cannon minion to stay alive and stay baroned up, and you'll eventually take that tower down anyway.
Yep, so top inhibitor has respawned. I feel like Renegatus needs to actually push a little bit harder. They've got a 10,000 gold lead. Ooh, Ari gets the charm onto the Jarvan, and he winds up going down. Ooh. You hate to see that. There's no real reason for the Jarvan to be outside of the base right now. Vayne goes in, Malphite ultimate. Kai'Sa's still alive. She barely survives. Ooh. Vayne flashes forward, gets the kill. That's 2 kills for the Vayne. Ari's still pushing on the bot side. We're in a... There's 2 dead on the side of Renegatus.
Mordekaiser's going to lose.
Oh my goodness. And it looks like Renegatus is forced to back off.
Oh!
Wow. And
Bronze 5Age finds their fight.
Yeah, Xerath gets the snipe. Vayne gets the solo kill against the Mordekaiser when she's in the Death Realm. And I believe that actually, yeah, that's huge. It's still an 8,000 gold lead, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel for Bronze 5Age.
Yeah, they go from like an almost 11,000 gold deficit to only 8,000. I mean, over one team fight, that's a hell of an improvement in their situation.
And that is the disadvantage if you decide to split up your team a little bit more to go for that push where you're pushing all 3 lanes. Is that if the enemy team has a lot of hard engage, like the Malphite, for example, then you can actually punish that. And I thought it was really great by the Vayne to really commit her flash, get that kill on the Kai'Sa. Yeah, really good job cleaning up.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Bronze 5Age was just going to have to let those towers go, or at least let one of them go. But, while that ends up happening, they get something out of it. They were able to work together to figure out some solution that doesn't immediately lose the game for them.
Yeah, so they buy out a little bit more time. The Drake is going to go down to Team Renegatus, but there's still the Baron is going to be up for another minute and 40 seconds. So really they can just focus on pushing out their lanes a little bit longer, trying to get a little bit more gold onto this Vayne and the Xerath.
And normally I don't like Cloud Drakes. I feel like they're always the weakest of the 4 Drake options. But in this scenario for Renegatus having 3 of them, it makes moving between all 3 lanes to pressure those lanes a lot easier for them. And it makes Bronze 5H have to do a lot more work to move between those 3 lanes to defend themselves.
Yeah, it's very true. Looks like Ari's looking to potentially try and get some type of a pick. But they're not really in any type of position right now to do that. I think they just wanted to stall out, deny vision into that blue side jungle, and then go back for the Baron once it spawns.
I mean, Vayne is getting strong now. She's sitting on 3 full items with boots, and she's going towards a fourth full item now. She's in a really, really good spot. If Kai'Sa is not able to get a good series of attacks in on these team fights, and Vayne is, Bronze 5Age actually has that as their win condition now. Just let Vayne kill people.
Yeah, and unfortunately that last ward that Bronze 5Age looks has around the Baron is going to expire before the Baron actually comes up. So Bronze 5H has to push up and get some more vision down around this Baron pit before the Baron spawns.
I mean, the next minute is going to be very tense between both of these teams.
So they wind up getting one ward over the wall. This will spot them going into the Baron. Ahri is bot lane right now. She looks like she's trying to go for a backdoor. Malphite is shadowing her. Ahri might be caught out. She is distracting a lot of people. Vayne goes in. They're going for the Baron right now. Ahri goes down, but it might be Baron going over to Team Renegatus.
Yeah, that's a guaranteed Baron.
But the question is that worth it? Now you're in a 5v4. Ahri's dead for 45 seconds.
It's still possible for Bronze 5H to stall this out. Even with Baroned up minions pushing into the base, you can still stop that. You can still wave clear. You can still keep them from winning the game. All is not lost. It's just much harder.
Yeah, so the real question is, can they keep their third inhibitor alive? Because once that third inhibitor goes down, it makes things a lot harder to defend. Ooh, the problem is that Ahri does have teleport, so she will be able to teleport in once she comes up. So they can just stall out for another 10 seconds, wait for Ahri to come up. Ahri can TP in, and there'll be a 5v5 with Baron.
Yeah, and Mordekaiser is actually, like, puzzlingly choosing to go to bot lane here. Well, he's recalling now. But he was heading towards bot lane, and, you know, if bot lane already has supers pushing, top lane already has supers pushing, there's no reason to split up between any of the lanes. You should just be grouping mid at this point, because supers are going to push lanes all on their own.
And this gold lead seems like it's shrinking more and more. It's only about 8,000 right now. And remember that they got the Baron, which gives you an extra 1,500 gold. So their gold lead hasn't increased, even though they got the 1,500 gold from the Baron.
Yeah. I mean, if you have this much of a gold lead and this much of an advantage some of your champions, there's no reason not to just group as 5 and go 5v5 in mid lane to try to win the game right here.
Yep. I think Bronze 5H is in the right call right now. They're trying to push in mid lane. They realize that that's what they have to defend. All the inhibitors have respawned. So they have that going for them. Ahri is just chilling over here, trying to wait for somebody to step in. I don't know if they know she's there. Looks like they're going for the flank. Malphite or Alistar goes in. Malphite goes in, winds up getting the ultimate. They pop the GA on the Kai'Sa. They wind up killing the Olaf. Bronze 5H might have done it.
Vayne is taking over all of these fights.
Vayne is still up, and that's going to be a straight up ace.
Oh my god!
Great
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series here. Holy! Woo.
Great target selection by Vayne, or by Bronze 5H to get the Kai'Sa. They popped the Kai'Sa almost immediately. Then they were able to pop the Olaf while the Kai'Sa was in the GA. And this is not going to be the end of the game, I don't think, but it is going to allow them to equalize a lot of this gold.
Yeah, this gold lead is going to be not as big of a deal anymore. They could get this inhibitor here if they push this hard enough.
So we have another Drake spawning in 10 seconds. I don't think you really care too much about it. It's an ocean. I think the inhibitor is definitely more important.
It is. And Malphite can take that Dragon all on his own, really. Man,
oh, so wow.
They go from an 8,000 gold deficit to only 4,000 now.
So the question is, do you stick around for the Drake?
I think you do.
I mean, they've got a lot of gold in their pockets. They want to go back and spend it. You got 2,000 on Xerath, 2,000 on Vayne. Yeah, it looks like they're not gonna chance it.
I mean, I would choose to go for that dragon in this case. With all the damage you have, just Xerath, that dragon's dying real fast. And it's an Ocean Drake on top of it. And if you're in this defensive position like Bronze 5H is, an Ocean Drake helps you defend. Why wouldn't you want that?
Ocean Drake is just not that powerful in the late game. I don't think it's worth, because you're basically 50-50. If you lose that team fight, you lose the game for sure. Because death timers are too long. Instead, you go back, you spend your gold, your Vayne is full build now, your Xerath is almost full build. I think that's probably the safer call, and you're only giving up an Ocean Drake. The problem is that now the Elder Drake is going to come up in 5 minutes, and they've got 5 Drakes to their name, so you have to be able to win a fight before the Elder Drake. You cannot let Renegatus get the Elder Drake.
I mean, I think if you're Bronze 5 age, your goal is to win the game in the next 5 minutes, regardless.
Yeah, and they definitely can do that
Momentum
by
is on.
pushing mid. They can push mid because they've got the inhibitor down.
Ari all by herself in bot lane does not have enough pushing power to end the game on her own. That's not going to happen. I
So I
don't
really
know.
like how Bronze 5 is doing. They're waiting for the Baron to spawn in the next minute and 20 seconds. So they got to set up vision. I wish that they would put a little bit more vision down in the red side jungle of Team Renegatus.
You could easily take
Xerath
this
is
top tower here real quick if you want, but I don't think they're going to try to do that.
Ari's going for the all-in on Xerath in bot lane right now. If she gets this kill, this could be huge. She flashes over the stun from the Xerath, and the pause comes down.
So it looks like we're having this pause because Alston Redstip, the top laner for Bronze 5 age, disconnected from the game. That might have been why Malphite was just sitting up there in top lane and not helping the minions push to that tower.
Yeah, unfortunately, it happened while a 1v1 is going down.
I would like to point out that in that 1v1, Ari flashed the stun from Xerath, but then Xerath also dodged the charm from Ari. So both of these players just really, in that brief couple of seconds, showed a lot of really cool moves.
Yeah. Ari should be able to win this 1v1, which will set them up very nicely for the Baron, because I think the death timers are going to be around 50 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Death timers are huge at this point in the game. I think you're right about 50 seconds. I think that's where they are. But they're at least like 40, 45, somewhere in that range.
Which means that Renegatus will have priority when getting into this Baron, because Bronze 5 will not want to check into them 4v5. So it's just a question of, I think what Bronze 5 has to do is they've got to get mid control. Mid control is everything. You get mid control, then you sweep up the river because it's not as big of a choke point, and then you can fight along the river with you having your back to mid lane.
No, yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, I'm surprised that this game has gone on. Like, I feel like this game should have ended 10 minutes ago in Renegatus' favor, but they made some decisions that really put the ball back into Bronze 5 age's court. Bronze 5 age was recognizing, hey, they're not moving around the map as well as they used to. They're choosing to split up the lanes right now. This is our opening. This is our chance. We can take this game back into our own hands, and they did. And I have to commend them. Even if they lose this game, they made some amazing decisions in this game, and they should be super proud of themselves.
Yep, the power of friendship allowing them to come back a little bit more. But really, I have to say that Bronze 5 did a really great job recognizing that Renegatus was very split, and they made a really good use of the Malphite ultimate as well as the Alistar Flash headbutt pull, and also the Jarvan Cataclysm. They really all-in mid lane multiple times when Renegatus was split up. And I think Renegatus, when they look at this game, they're going to say, man, why didn't we just group up? Because we had like way more gold than they did. We could have just fought them 5v5 and probably won the fight. But because we lost multiple times in mid lane because we were split, now we're giving them a door to basically get back into the game.
Exactly. I mean, all you had to do was group 5 in mid lane, push hard, and win a fight. You win the game. That's all that was required of you.
Come on, do your region proud. NA Ram for the win. Let's go.
Man. All right.
There's a reason it's called that. You got to go for it.
It's just what we do here. It's what we do. It looks like the pause shouldn't be taking too much longer. We did just see Alston Redstip did reconnect to the game, but perhaps he just hasn't loaded fully back into it yet. So pretty soon we should be getting the action going one more time. But again, this has been one hell of a series. Game 1 was very exciting. Game 2 was also very exciting. But Game 3 is just proving to be the most exciting game that I have casted for our entire league in a long time.
Yeah, this one is coming down to the wire, and I thought it was going to be Renegatus just running away with it, but Bronze 5 is clawing themselves back into this game, and it's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the next team fight, because I feel like the next team fight just decides everything.
Oh, yeah. And this pick is going to be huge. If Ari is able to secure this kill into the Xerath, that's going to put Renegatus back on the driving seat, and it's going to be their Baron to lose.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, without Xerath, you don't have a long range way of trying to steal that Baron. I mean, if Xerath would still be alive, he could just pop his ultimate and just throw all 4 shots onto Baron, hoping that he gets a lucky steal. But if he's dead,
or you can even use it for vision as well,
or even use it for vision too, exactly. But if he's dead, you don't have that option.
Yep.
Then again, he would respawn before Baron would spawn in anyway. But it's still,
he's
it's
not going to get there in time, though. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it's he's not 10 to 20 second travel time.
Yeah.
He might get in range to use his ultimate for a Baron fight, but he's not going to actually be there for the Baron fight if Renegatus starts it immediately.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting on the top laner because he did not fully connect.
Yeah, I don't know if this is internet problems or computer problems, but either way, I would much rather we take the time here to get him back into the game and just let this timer go down, because they have until the 15-minute mark before they would be forced to unpause the game at this point.
Yep. So one big thing is that Jarvan does have a stopwatch that could play pretty huge in this next Baron fight. Vayne is full build completely. Kai'Sa is not full build yet. She still looks like she's going to go towards a Zhonya's Hourglass with her final item, and her GA is still on cooldown. Xerath looks like his final item is going to be a Death Cap. Actually, no, he's got plenty of room left. He's also still got his Dorn's Ring, so he could definitely sell that. And yeah, besides that, Mordekaiser's got a pretty hefty lead. He's a big, beefy boy. And then Malphite's got multiple items. Looks like the next item he's going towards is an Iceborne Gauntlet. So yeah, Jarvan could use that stopwatch in the next fight, and then he'll turn that stopwatch into a GA once he gets enough gold.
Yeah, this is just I don't know. This is just a really unfortunate time for a pause. I mean, we were just getting so hyped up, and I don't even know. I hope these two teams are communicating why the pause is happening, because I have chat disabled for this, so I don't know what they're saying. Oh, but the play is resuming.
I think they said they're going to do a 4v5.
Really? Okay. I guess we'll have to find out after the match is over, post-game interview.
Oh, and Ahri was not able to get the kill. Vayne might get this.
Oh!
Wow. So Xerath is able to survive. Ahri goes down. It's 50-second death timer. It looks like Malphite is here. So Malphite is in the game.
Yeah, but Jarvan isn't doing anything. So is Jarvan having issues now too? Is that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Jarvan is just standing still right now.
I think that's the issue, but I mean, Bronze 5H chose to do this 4v5. This was their decision.
But if they don't have the Jarvan, then they're in a really bad position. Yeah, they're ignoring him. It looks like Jarvan is disconnected, so they cannot go for the Baron right now. So it looks like they're going to try and push down mid. It's still 4v4 for 10 seconds.
They're hoping that they get a kill before Ahri respawns to keep it a 4v5.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to get it in time.
No.
Disengaged by the Alistar. Ahri's looking for a flank. But they did stall for quite a long period of time. If they can just keep Renegatus in their base, they give Jarvan time to reconnect, and that way Renegatus can't go towards this Baron.
That's true. I mean, if you're gonna do a 4v5 in this situation, this is the best decision Bronze 5H can make in that moment.
Yep. Oh, that's the Nautilus ultimate is down. Malphite goes in onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa stopwatches. It's a 1v1 Vayne versus the Ahri. Ahri stopwatches. Vayne is cleaning up. She winds up getting 2 kills.
She can do this.
She dodges the Nautilus Q. Vayne is cleaning up. She winds up.
Have they done it?
That's a quadra kill for the Vayne. I think they've done it. 4v5, Bronze 5H.
What
Looks
is
like they're gonna push for the
happening?
win. Prophet on the Vayne, living up to his name, carrying his team, putting them on their back.
This is
Both
crazy.
both Nexus towers are down. Vayne is focusing Nexus. Kai'Sa's going in.
Oh
Ooh,
my
can
god.
they finish it?
Alistar just hit it.
That's a
Alistar hit
GA.
it.
They should be able to hit it.
Oh
And
my
they finish the
god.
game. Bronze 5 Age wins 2-1 in a 4v5.
Oh my god.
Vayne with a quadra kill to end the game.
Oh my god. How did that even happen? I can't believe that they just did that. And they were still at a gold deficit at the end of the game.
That's unbelievable. Hard carry by the Vayne. Really great job by the rest of the team to support her and keep her alive. But Vayne, 36,000 damage to champions. Out damaged. The next most was actually the Xerath at 25,000.
Oh my god. I need to interview, like, we need to get a post-game interview with Renegatus and Bronze 5 Age. I want one person from each team. Like, I gotta talk to both teams about this whole series because this series was the craziest series I've seen so far.
Yeah, that was an amazing series. Both teams deserve to win. Unfortunately, only Bronze 5 Age is moving on.
Yeah.
I think we'll take anyone. Whoever wants to give it up as a
I would like to
sacrificial
interview
lamb.
Renegatus first, though. I would like to interview someone from their team first. So if we can get somebody from Renegatus to come into the post game interview channel so that we can talk to you, that'd be great.
All right.
All
You
right,
want to go over?
Yeah, let's switch over there so we can talk to them. All right. So as soon as somebody shows up here, we'll get the interview underway. I mean, no matter which team you were, a loss was going to be heartbreaking regardless of which team lost. You know, going into a game 3 like that where both teams have such a good chance of taking the series, I mean, it wasn't going to be heartbreaking. So let's not say that. But Diving is joining us in here for an interview. Diving, taking it to game 3. I mean, what a roller coaster of emotions your team must have been going through in game 3. Just tell us about, mentally how you guys were handling your loss in game 1, going into game 2, and then how you were handling everything mentally in game 3 there.
So in game 1, like, we way overthought everything and it ended up coming back to bite us. And so in game 2, we just said, you know what, screw it. We're going to go comfort picks. We're going to play for lane. We're going to get ahead early. And then we're just going to smack them with our sacks of gold. And that's what happened. And then in game 3, we kind of did the same thing, going with the comfort picks. And the Vayne pick, we weren't super sure where it was going because we knew Cephas didn't play it, and so
Yeah.
we knew Prophet had be playing it, but we didn't know if he was going to be running it into the Mordekaiser top or what was going on there. So we were kind of winging it going into champ select there. But yeah, tell you what, the team after game 3 was just really quiet.
I know. I mean, you guys obviously don't have a gold number in the middle of the game tell you how much gold do you have and how much gold they have. But I mean, at one point you guys were 10,000 gold ahead, and Bronze 5 Age was just able to find these little advantages to like bring that gold down to 8,000, and then it was down to 4,000, and then by the end of the game it was only like a 2,000 deficit. But
yeah, they had a really great flank on us there in the mid lane, where I know for my part at least, I got CC'd to death, and so I didn't do anything there. And then our last team fight, there was a little bit of miscommunication on when to pull the trigger, so it just got hard forced before we were really ready for it. So that's just more or less what happened there.
Got it. Understandable. Sometimes it's really hard to tell, especially in such a high pressure situation that you guys were in there.
Yeah, I'll kind of take the blame on that one. I did say, Nautilus, as soon as you see the Vayne go in, or alter, I wasn't expecting him to just keep running, but that was my bad. So that was really just kind of there, or what happened.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I saw from both teams is that from game 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3, it just seemed like after game 1, your team kind of had this mindset of like, well, whatever you guys can do, we can do better. And so you completely changed your mindset to being more decisive and being more aggressive like they were in game 1. And it worked so well for you. And then in game 3, it seemed like Bronze 5 Age had that exact same mentality by going, well, we're going to pick Vayne. Anything you can do, we're going to pick Vayne and Jarvan. Anything you guys can do, we can do better. And it just felt like the two of you were on such close levels of skill and team fighting and decision making and everything throughout the entire series. And even though you lost, I just want to congratulate you and your entire team on the performances that you showed today. You know, you guys showed that on your best days like today, you could win this entire division, even though you were the 4th seed going into playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely want to give a shout out to Bronze 5 Age for their great macro in game 1. They were the first team that we felt like actually just out macroed us, and so that's what really changed our perspective on how to play the game going into games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, congratulations on your game 2 victory. Congratulations on putting up this much of a fight in game 3. You know, all like basically it was a coin flip at the end of the game for which one of you was actually going to win that, you know. So congratulations on making it that close of a series, coming in as the 4th seed. I don't really have any more questions for you. Randomonium, do you have anything you would like to ask him?
No, just amazing series. It was an honor to cast it, and definitely you guys should have your heads held high, because that was an amazing series, and either one of you guys could have won that.
Well, thank you, and again, I do want to give a shout out to Bronze 5 Age. Great series. Thanks for making it close. That was fun.
Yeah. Easily the most exciting series I've ever casted. And I think it's also the most exciting series that I think we've ever streamed on our Twitch channel. So
yeah, it's definitely going down there as one of the best.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Diving. We appreciate the time that you gave us here for the interview. Feel free to go back to your team and if you guys want to talk about the game with each other, but we'll try to get a Bronze 5 Age member in here to interview them.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you guys for the cast.
Thank you.
Have a great night, man. All right. Let's see. Who are we going to get from Bronze 5 Age now for the interview? I mean, I would take any of them, but I mean, I almost want to hear from
we got it.
Ooh.
We got Alston.
All right, there you go. Alston Restip. Welcome,
Hey guys.
welcome.
Anyone tired?
I mean, you should be tired after that series. Let's be real. Wow. I mean, okay. I just want to know what the team's mentality was after winning game 1, and then you lose game 2 in such a decisive fashion by Renegatus, you know, and then you were behind by 10,000 gold at one point in game 3.
Yes.
So mentally, how was your team able to make that comeback? How were they able to pull it all together in the last second there to turn things around, and rather than the door being slammed in their faces, able to put their foot back in that door and start opening it again?
Well, first of all, amazing series by Renegatus. That was so much, probably the most fun series I've ever been a part of. They played amazing, and I wish we could play them again. Like, that was just crazy. It was so much fun. So just big hats off to them. As far as us, you know, we've played together a lot. We stayed calm. There's a little bit of like, oh crap, not this again. But we definitely have a in profit we trust. And we got to the point where we had picks that don't become irrelevant. You know, Malphite, I was down really far. You know, Mordekaiser beat the crap out of me in lane. I tried to CS well while I could, but Malphite just doesn't become irrelevant. Same thing with Alistar, and we had enough peel, and we just did what we could. We saw that they were splitting against us, and we could take our even though we were at a disadvantage, having the extra player going 5v4 or even 4v3. We tried to take those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you said, in Profit we, because game 3 really showed why, Profit is the right guy to trust on your team. I mean, he almost single-handedly was the reason why you guys were able to win that third game. I mean, granted, the rest of the team, you all helped peel for him and protect him and throw damage down and CC down when necessary, but he just put on such a show with Vayne in those last couple of team fights that my hat goes off to him, because it's not everybody that would have the mental fortitude to be able to carry a team like that and play so well while under so much stress.
Yeah, big hats off to him. We've played with him for a while. Before today, he hadn't played since the first of the month. So coming in a little bit rusty, and we kind of thought if they could do it with Vayne the game 2, we could do it with Vayne in game 3. Maybe a little bit of a surprise, wouldn't see it coming. Still getting on comfort picks though.
Yeah. The other question that I have is the DC at the end of game 3. I had my chat in my spectator, so if there was some communication over what was happening, I couldn't see it.
So my computer crashed, and by the time I restarted and came back, Ken had gone, or I'm sorry, Oni had gone. Oni no Ken had gone AFK, and then he came back a little bit later and said, "Sorry guys, I got to take my dog to the emergency room."
Oh my God! Okay.
And so we were
geez.
talking, and we know the rules, and we're like, all right, our only option is to go 4v5. And so we unpaused 4v5, and they were nice. They didn't go kill him. He was AFK. He was AFK top lane, just sitting in the top lane. They didn't go and kill him. And we knew that at 4v5 we were going to, and we were able to get the pick on Ari, which put it 4v4, and we knew we had a short 40-second window to really take it and maybe try to knock them off balance to the point where we could it was really just a Hail Mary in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only hope you guys had at that point. If you fully accept that it's going to be a 4v4, and you're walking into that, you just have to go for the Hail Mary play.
Yep.
So
yep, we full on peel for Vayne. Zara threw out as much damage as he could, and let the chips fall where they were.
I mean, that was some crazy fights at the end of that game. It was really nuts how you guys turned things around. I mean, granted, I'm not saying that you guys played that game perfectly, because you were,
No.
you were down by 10,000 gold earlier in the game. But
Right.
There's a lot that you guys should be proud of from all 3 of those games. Even game 2, where you guys really just, I think it's fair to say that you were stomped in game 2, but
sure,
there's a lot to learn from even the 2 games that you won. So I think it would behoove both teams to go back and look at the VODs for this and just see kind of things that they missed while they were playing the game. But yeah, hats off to you guys. Way to come back. Way to make that the most exciting game I've ever casted in my life.
We were all so nervous, and then afterwards, it was just our hearts were all pounding so hard. It was one of the most intense thing I've played in League.
Yeah, and I do also want to say, I really hope everything's okay with Oni's dog. Besides being a dog lover myself, I just, I know that it sucks when things like that happen to a member of the family. So I really hope everything's okay with Oni's dog, and if you could just pass that on for me, I would really appreciate that.
Sure. I mean, we have a motto on our team, because we play together all the time, and it's always family first. And so we were all like, yeah, go do it. None of us, it was, yep. So we will definitely pass it on.
All right. Randomonium, do you have anything you would like to ask him before we're done?
No, I think you hit everything. Amazing series, amazing ending. Being 4v5 is near unheard of. So you guys have to be incredibly proud of yourselves, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the finals.
Great. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in for this exciting match. I mean, I think it's a bit of an understatement at this point, but I'm still going to call it that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the series. Thank you for talking in chat, cheering on the teams, and we will catch you for the next match here at the Casual Esports Amateur League. So until then, have a good night.